A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Well, a newspaper man tricked Jane into giving her real name while he was interviewing her as Mrs. Average Player, assistant to Mr. Jackson, the bridge instructor. Pictures were also taken. As our scene opens now, we find Jane, Mr. Race, and Marge, a stunned trio, standing in the middle of the living room, staring aghast at the front page of the evening paper.
But how on earth, Jane? I thought it was all a big secret who you were. How did this happen?
Marge, I crossed my fingers and hoped to die I didn't know a thing about this.
Oh, stop it. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me you didn't deliberately pose for this picture. It's as plain as the nose on your face.
Yes, isn't it? I never saw such terrible pictures. The only good thing is that they're so terrible that people won't know me. Isn't that a good thing, dear? Aren't they terrible? Aren't they, dear? Dear.
The wife of the local real estate man.
What?
Look at that. The wife of the local real estate man. She never finesses. It makes her nervous. She always leaves the first car on the right. She's the wife of the local real estate man.
Oh, stop being so dramatic. You've got to do something about this.
What would you suggest? A rope or just carbon monoxide?
Oh, the phone. I'll answer it, dear.
You say she doesn't know how this got into the paper.
Doesn't know. They tied her up and took these pictures, I suppose.
Just a minute. It's for you, dear.
Who is it?
I don't know. He just said Miss Ray.
Oh, hello? Yes, this is Miss... Who is this? Now, I don't know your wife. I never met her, and I never met you. I don't care how your wife plays bridge. I don't see what it's got to do with me, and you don't have to get so tough. Oh, you will. Well, I can do a little block knocking off myself.
Heaven's name is that.
Yes? You and who? Who is this? Just give me your name. Oh, go fly a kite. Well, that's a fine thing. You see what you've done? A guy says I'm responsible for his wife's bridge game being ruined.
What?
How do you like that? Blaming this thing on me, going to knock my block off as if I had anything to do with it. Why, I'll knock him so
Oh,
far.
now, dear, you know you can't.
Who can't? Don't tell me. Who does he think he is picking fights with me?
Now, you know you can't fight,
You
dear.
stay out of this.
Well, all right, you'll see. You get a black eye. Don't say I didn't tell you.
I've got a black eye. You gave it to me. Look at this paper. Look at those pictures.
Oh, Jane, why did you tell him who you are?
I didn't, Marge. I swear I didn't. Everybody kept calling me Mrs. Average Player. He tried to find out my name, but I wouldn't tell him.
Well, somebody told him. There it is. How did he find out?
I don't know. And he was such a nice fellow, too. He said the nicest things while he was asking me questions. And when we got through, he even asked me for my autograph. And I was so thrilled. Autograph.
What's that?
My autograph. I gave him my autograph. That's where he got it.
You mean he signed the autograph, Jane, eh?
Well, you can knock me down with a fender.
Oh, Jane, that's the stupidest thing I ever
What
heard.
difference does it make how she did it? She did it, that's enough. Wife of the local real estate man. Look at that. I knew I shouldn't have let her go into this thing in the first place.
I'll have to, dear.
Oh, but it all started out innocently enough.
Nothing she gets into is innocent.
Hello?
Well, you're not going to let it go on with it, are you?
Well, what do you think? Of course I'm not.
It's for you, dear.
For me, who is it?
I don't know, some man.
Oh, if that's that guy again.
No, it isn't. It's somebody else.
Oh, give me that. Yes? Yes, that's the way she plays. Well, isn't that too bad? Who told your wife to go there and take lessons? Well, don't get tough with me. Okay, you name the place. I'll be there.
He's going to get hurt one of these days.
I'll finesse you. Is that so? Listen, I've got enough troubles here in my own home. You fix up your own troubles in your own way. What is this? Am I to blame for this whole mess?
Oh, of course not.
Well, there goes the phone again.
No, Jane, it's somebody at the door.
Oh, the door. Excuse me, dear, I'll go. Oh, it might be one of those men.
Well, I hope so. You wait here. I'll go.
Take it easy, dear.
Well, dear, don't start anything.
I just hope it's one of those guys. That's it. Well, what do you want? Who are you? I'm Mr. Ace. You want to make anything of it?
No, I'm Mr. Jackson.
Oh, you are. Well, come right in.
I want to see her. Where is she?
Here I am, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, there you are, you brute with the sheep's clothing. How dare you compromise yourself in this fashion? You don't exist. I distinctly told you were a nonentity created out of my mind with Mrs. Average Blair. A machine to be wound up by me to play bridge hands incorrectly. Mrs. Average Blair, that's all you are, and you betray me behind my back. You make me the laughing stock of the whole town. Me is as one dozens of cops that has looked up to a little authority on the game. You suddenly turn on me and tear down my years of hard work. You frightened thing.
I don't believe you met my husband.
You frightened thing.
This is Mr. Jackson, Mr. Francis. Mr. Ace.
How do you do? I'll sue you. You've ruined my years of spotless reputation.
This is Miss Hare, Mr. Jackson.
How do you do? I'll sue you for every cent you've got. My solicitors will hear of this in the morning.
How do you like that? He's going to sue. How about me?
I'll sue you too.
Sue me? What for?
What for, my dear fellow? Have you read the evening paper?
Have I read it? Get a load of this.
I've seen it. I've read every horrible word of it. She says she's inaugurated a new method of paying bridge, and that I countenance such a method. Never finessing, reading the first card on the right. She says I advocate the system. There it is in black and white. If this is to prove it, I'll sue you for this.
Well, I don't see what you can sue me for.
Well, I sue what I can sue you for. I can sue you for plenty, Sue.
What?
You said what I heard me. I'll sue you. What am I saying? Don't try to be some of the issue.
I didn't be first.
You didn't say first.
No, wait a minute, Mr. Jackson.
What is
In
it?
the first place, you're hollering too much, and I don't see what you've got to holler coming.
You don't see what I...
Hold it, Grady. You'll let me get a word in here.
Well,
Now, Mr. Jackson, you say that you feel that you've been belittled as a big bridge instructor. Is that it?
Belittled is not the word.
What is the word?
Well, belittled could do it.
And you think it's Mrs. Ace's fault?
Of course it's her fault. All you have to do is read the paper. She was hired by me to play bridge hands incorrectly, as only she can. There was never any impression left that I was teaching my pupils to play her well.
I see, but the pupils did learn her well.
Yes, and now this paper has the
Well,
assumption...
whose fault is it that your pupil started to play her way? It's not hers.
I don't care who says it is. All I know is that I've been made a laughing stock of in this town, and the entire bridge world.
Well, you go ahead and sue, and you'll find out how much more of a laughing stock you'll become. Wait till all the details come out in court. If I were you, I wouldn't want to get any more publicity than you've already gotten, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, no. You can't frighten me off, old man. I have my reputation to back me up. I can prove that I've always been considered one of the top-notch bridge instructors in the country.
Oh, you can't. Wait just a minute. I just happened to think of something. Didn't Mrs. Ace take some bridge lessons from you once? Well, didn't you tell me that, Jane?
Yes, he gave me some bridge lessons twice.
I see. That's all you know about bridge. You're bad enough to be Mrs. Average Player. Well, Mr. Jackson, that doesn't speak very well for you, does it?
Well, I gave her 2 lessons. I can't do this.
Yeah, just the same. It doesn't speak very well for your reputation. And if that's brought out in court, you'll get laughed right out of this country.
I withdraw the suit.
That's more like it.
Well, now you're talking sense.
And that settles that.
Thank heaven that's over. Just a minute now. What's over? Well, the whole thing's over. Mr. Jackson forgets about the whole thing. Oh, no, he isn't. How about my contract?
Your what?
Jane, will you please?
I signed a contract for a whole year to get $40 a week. How about that?
I released you from it.
What does that mean?
Our association is with a name, Miss Lee.
Well, how about my money?
What money?
That's over $2,000 a year.
Now, just a minute. Jane, will you forget about that silly contract? What was
Forget about it, I should say. Not I'll sue him.
Sue me?
I certainly will.
Hey, stop talking like that. You do no such thing.
Oh, sure, it's all right for you to say stop talking. There's no skin off your teeth. But I'm not going to leave $2,000 just like that. I've got a contract that says...
where is it?
What?
Where's the contract?
Mr. Jackson's got it. Haven't you, Mr. Jackson?
You can't prove it.
Can't prove it, I certainly can. It's got my name on it.
Have you got a copy of it?
Copy? No, we only signed one, didn't I?
I'm sure I don't recall.
Don't recall. Now, just a
Oh,
minute.
you wait a minute, Jane. I wouldn't go into that if I were you. You just be thankful the whole thing's over. That's all you have to do.
I will not. I'll see my solicitor tomorrow.
Your solicitor? Now, look, Jane, if you're going to sue him, he's going to sue you.
I didn't do anything.
Not much. He's just about ruined his whole career, hasn't he, Mr. Jackson?
Of course you have. I'm a beaten man. I can't lift my head. I make a big step in the face.
Well, it's tough luck, old man. I mean, the idea you had was good. You did by the hound out the play system. Of course, you couldn't see in advance that it was going to backfire on you. On the other hand, If you'd have asked my advice, I could have told you that anything Mrs. Ace is in on doesn't work out.
But it seems so foolproof.
Yes, I know.
Well, I suppose I'll be talking about it.
Wait a minute. Can't you invite Mr. Jackson to dinner, James?
To dinner? Well, if he gives me my $2,000, I will.
I'm afraid that's too high. He'll just eat the regular blue plate, won't you, Mr. Jackson?
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Haley. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. I do need a little company this evening. I'll take that.
Of course you are. And we're sorry it turned out so badly.
Oh, well, sit up. Don't sit up.
That's just
by the way, Mr. Jackson, I was just thinking if you're really serious about being through with this big deal of yours.
Of course I'm serious. See me. It will take years to live this down. Well, there's always the thought of leaving.
Well, don't think you'd have to go that far. How about, I'll tell you what. Have you ever done anything else besides these birds?
Anything else? How do you mean?
Well, I mean any work.
Work? My God, Pat, I've always been against it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking that there happens to be something in my line right now. You see, I'm in the real estate business. We have a lot of big apartment buildings we rent out, and it just happens that we need a smart-looking front man. Superintendent, we call them. A fellow that can meet people and look after the business there.
You mean to say that you want me, Willoughby Jackson, to become a superintendent?
Well,
a menial looking after apartments, paying nursemaid, the tenant?
Well,
practically a domestic, you might say, in the real estate business?
Well, I'm sorry.
How much does it pay?
Oh, well, that's more like it. Suppose you come in here.
Mr. Jackson seems to be taken care of, and we look forward with interest to further adventures when next we meet the Easy Aces.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to the business office. Past records show that you can expect 170 crimes to occur in the city during the next 24 hours. You don't know where. You don't know when. Your job, handle them.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Saturday, July 10th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We'd been assigned to the business office, morning watch. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Gilbert. My name's Friday. I was on my way back from the coffee room, and it was 12:10 a.m. when I got back to room 21, the business office.
Well, fine what? Hey.
Who are you talking to, buddy?
Oh, hi, Joe.
Hi.
Hey, try to stay around, will you?
Huh?
I've been here 20 minutes. I've had 29 phone calls and written 3 reports.
Okay, I brought you some coffee back.
Oh, thanks. Hey, how you feel? Any better?
Oh, a little bit. I don't know what it is. I ache all over. I think I'm coming down with a cold.
That's too bad. A lot of that going around.
Yeah. Where's Skipper?
We ran over to the crime lab. Want to talk to Pinker.
Mm-hmm. How about the pool cards? You check them?
Yeah, the book's here someplace.
There it is, right on that paper there. No, over there. There.
Oh. Yeah, 5 of them out. Check in the book.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Something we can do for you?
You a detective?
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
All right, young man, my car's been stolen.
All right.
I told one of the officers on the corner about it, but he said it might work faster if I came up here.
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
The car's stolen. All you've got to do is go out and find it. Just find my car.
What kind of a car is it?
Well, it was a brand new Chevrolet.
That's 1954?
That's right. Bel Air with the windows that fold down.
All right. Now, we'll need to know some more things here before we can start looking for it.
Yes, what's that?
Your name?
Avis Bowen.
Mm-hmm. That's A-V-I-S.
Well, that's right. There's no other way to spell it. Avis Bowen.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have a middle initial?
R. Hope you're not going to ask me what it stands for.
No, that won't be necessary.
There isn't anybody that knows what my middle name is.
Yes, ma'am. All we want is the initial.
Well, that's all you're going to get.
All right, Mrs. Bowen.
It's Miss.
All right. What's the license number?
Oh, well, now, I think it's 1U44441.
All right. Wait just a moment, please.
Who are you calling now?
DMV.
Well, who's that?
Department of Motor Vehicles.
Oh, my, all this going on. It's a wonder you ever catch anybody.
Hi, Harry. This is Friday over at the business office. California license 1 Union 44441. That's right.
Tell him it's a Bel Air with the windows that fold down by themselves.
Yes, ma'am, I'll do. Doesn't it? Well, hold on here. You sure about that license number?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, it kind of looks like you made a little mistake, Miss Bowen.
I did not. The car is stolen.
Yes, we understand that, but you gave us the wrong license number.
1U44441. I remember it because of all the fours.
Harry, I'll call you back. Miss Bowen, that number's registered to a 1940 Studebaker.
My license number?
Well, I don't know, but the one you gave me, yes, ma'am.
1954 Chevrolet Bel Air. Windows that fold down by themselves.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
There must be several hundred cars that look like that. You've seen them before. Well, you act like you've never seen a car like that. There are lots of them around. Mine's light blue with a gold on top.
Uh-huh. We still need the license number. Do you think you have it at home?
Yes, I guess so.
All right, fine. If you'll phone it in to us, we can start looking for it.
Well, how do you expect me to get there?
Ma'am?
Home. How do you expect me to get there?
We'll have a car drop you off.
Well, it's about time I was getting some kind of service around here.
Yes, ma'am.
I think I'll write a letter to the papers about this.
All right, ma'am.
The whole thing, right down to that TMV or whatever it is. Expose the whole mess. Oh, you're going to be mighty sorry you ever opened this can of beans.
We're doing the best we can, ma'am.
Well, that's not very much standing around here making phone calls. Isn't finding my car.
Well, you said it yourself, didn't you?
What's that?
There must be several hundred cars like yours here in the city.
Yes?
Well, without the right license number, how are we going to find it?
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Ma'am?
You're nothing but a fake.
I beg your pardon?
You ain't no detective.
The business office, room 21. It's open 24 hours a day, but it's after the detective division closes that it begins to work. While patrol units in the city function normally, the men in the business office give advice on booking procedure, policy matters, and other police business. They issue pool cars and riot guns, and in the event of an emergency, they act as advisors in an overall plan for the dispersal of policemen. The captain on duty is, in effect, the acting chief of police. On the average weeknight, the activities are slow and routine. But over the weekend, the men involved can expect to handle several hundred phone calls from the thousands put through the complaint board. These calls deal with every crime in the municipal and penal code. In addition to this, they handle the citizen traffic through the city hall. Next door is a report room where statements are taken and forwarded to the captains of the detective divisions for appropriate action. Frank and I had checked in at 12 midnight, and for the following half hour, we did business as usual. At 12:41 a.m., we got a hotshot call reporting the sound of shots in the 4200 block on Albany Street. At 12:43, the call was changed to a shooting and ambulance follow-up. At 12:45, the hotshot phone rang again.
That's shooting?
Yeah, it's a homicide now.
You gonna call a unit?
Better have them check it, yeah.
Same address as the shot?
A couple of houses down. This is Friday, business office. Will you put out a call to 1K5? Have them cover the shooting and ambulance follow-up at 4289. That's 4289 Albany. You got it. Right. Thank you.
Looks like a good one, huh?
Yeah. Turns out we'll get Geezy out of bed.
Well, that'll make him happy. He'll end up in their laps.
Hi, Joe.
Bob, what do you got?
You want to sit down there, Pop?
Who's he?
I don't know. We found in front of one of the burlesque houses on Main.
Mm-hmm.
The place was closed. He was just standing out there looking at the pictures.
You got a name on it?
Mm-mm. Haven't been able to get him to say anything. You want to give it a try?
All right. You want to tell us who you are, old fella? Come on, we want to help you, but there's not much we can do if you won't tell us your name.
Doing about as good as we did. Okay, I looked pretty wobbly when we stopped.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Well, we'll take him over to Georgia Street. Wait a minute. You got a wallet? All right, let me look at it, will you? Maybe there's something in here that'll help us.
Yeah. And the money?
No. A few cards here. Nothing with a name on it.
What's that one there? Something written on the back. Looks like a phone number.
Yeah, that's what it is. You want to call call, see if they know who he is?
Yeah, give it a try.
Yeah, you just sit still right there.
Hello, this is Officer Frank Smith, Los Angeles Police Department. No, there's nothing wrong. We have a man here in the office. He's carrying a card with his phone on it. I wonder if you can tell us who he is. Huh? Yes, ma'am. Well, he looks to be in his late 70s. We've got white hair. That's right. Well, he's wearing a brown wool sweater, black pants, and a black felt hat. That's right. You want to give me that again? Mm-hmm. No, he's all right. Yeah. That's right. We'll have him brought home. Right away. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And we got it. His name's McKinley Dunn. He lives out on Vincent Avenue in Highland Park. Talked to his daughter.
Yeah.
She says they got into an argument after breakfast. McKinley here just got up and walked out of the house. She hasn't seen him since. Pretty worried about him.
Figures.
Says he's always kind of independent.
Well, better run him home.
Hey, you want us to take care of it?
No, we can't have you out of service that long. I'll call Highland Park, have them pick him up. You want to take him over to York Boulevard and make the transfer there, Bob?
Sure thing.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Dunn. Here you are. I'll put this back in your pocket.
Come on, sir. We'll take you home. Thanks, Joe.
It's no trouble, Bob. Tell the boys from Highland Park to have his daughter put a card in the wallet with all the information on it. Will you make it easier next time?
Sure.
The card's not going to do any good, Joe.
Huh?
Card's not going to help. Daughter says she always puts one in. As soon as the old man gets out of the house, he tears it up.
I got it. Business office, Friday. Uh-huh. Photographer get there? How many? You get the story? Yeah, we'll bring him in. Do what you can. Right, we'll see you then. That's Sam and 1K5 on the shooting.
Yeah.
They got 2 suspects in custody. They're bringing them both in.
Uh-huh.
Third man left the scene. Sam says the accidental death possibility is out now.
Yeah.
It's a clean case of murder. 10 minutes later, the officers in Unit 1K5 arrived with the 2 suspects. They were identified as Fred and Harriet Purcell. The names were run through R&I, but no record was found on either one of them. It was obvious that the 2 people had been drinking heavily. The husband was taken to the report room while Frank and I questioned the woman.
I don't remember too good. Everything seemed to happen so fast. Just all of a sudden there was this kind of noise and Norman was dead.
Norman, is that the victim?
Yeah. Norman Moncrief.
You must know who had the gun.
I've been saying that to myself, but it doesn't do anything. I guess I had too much to drink.
Who else was in the apartment with you?
Now, you mean besides Fred and me?
That's right.
It's just the 3 of us, that's all.
We got a report there was another man present.
Well, then you know more than me.
All right. You want to give us the whole story?
The beginning when?
From the start.
Okay. I had a tooth pull this morning. I guess that's what caused all the trouble.
How's that?
My tooth was impacted and I had it pulled, and the dentist gave me a shot of Novocaine and you pull it to a can. See it?
Mm-hmm.
I care. Mm-hmm. I got home and the Novocaine started to wear off. The whole side of my face started to hurt terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I told Fred about it. How it was a terrible thing. I tried to tell him how much it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He's a clod. Told me to have a drink and forget it. And it wasn't long before we were having the beef. Oh, Fred, he isn't very bright at times, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think a fella'd have a little sympathy for his wife at a time like that.
That's right.
Not old Fred. He's a clod. Told me to pour myself a little Ricky and shut up.
Was Moncrief there at the time?
Yeah. Him and Fred had been playing pinochle when I came home. I guess they've been at it all afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Norman was on my side. He made Fred mad. And we got to fighting pretty good. Norman was right with me.
Yeah.
Telling Fred he ought to be quiet. I think Fred was sore about being beat at pinochle. He thinks he's a pretty good player. Not long after that, there was a shot, and Norman was dead.
Were you in the room at the time?
No.
Where were you?
Out in the kitchen. I went out to get some more ice.
Who was in the room when you left?
Just Fred and Norman.
No one else.
If there was, I'd have told you.
Just a minute. I'll get it. There's Office Friday. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You'll have to call in tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. That's right.
What's going on here? You know Mrs. Regman?
No?
Mrs. Leo Regman?
Yeah, what about her?
She told the investigating officers there was another man in the apartment. said that he left right after she heard the shots.
She would. No, he's got her nose where it doesn't belong.
Oh, she's pretty certain about what she saw.
Then ask her. She saw the man. Let her tell you who he was.
You don't think it'd be better if you did?
Then it ain't going to be good because I don't know.
Did you hear anybody come into the place when you were in the kitchen?
Nope.
You're pretty sure of that, huh?
Now, look. I got enough troubles. Me and my old man's in jail. My face feels like it's coming off. I want to get home and get some sleep. If I knew anything, I'd have told you a long time ago. Now, leave me alone.
What did you do after you heard the shot?
Went in to see what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Just opened the door and looked. Norman was lying there on the floor.
Where's your husband?
Just standing there looking at Norman.
Where was the gun?
Flat hat.
Whose gun is it?
I don't know.
You never saw it before?
I don't like guns. I don't like to have them around. I don't look at them when they are. I never saw it before. You talked to Fred yet?
No, not yet.
No. Well, he'll tell you the same story, same way I told it. You'll see. There's no need to even talk to him.
Is that right?
Sure. You already got it the way I told you. What more you want?
Just one thing I can think of.
Yeah?
The truth.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Frank and I attempted to talk to the husband, Fred Purcell. He was too drunk to be coherent. We made arrangements for some hot coffee to be brought in. His wife was taken to the interrogation room to wait until we could fill out the reports. At 4:20 a.m., we got another hotshot call regarding a cutting on South 5th Street. The investigating officers found the knifing had resulted from a quarrel between a man and his common-law wife. The woman was in critical condition. She was removed to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital, and the husband was booked in at the main jail on charges of assault with a deadly weapon. We notified Chief of Detectives Thad Brown and Captain Lorman of the shooting and the cutting. During the next hour, there were 2 armed robbery reports, several burglaries, and numerous fights. 5:31 a.m., Frank went down the hall and brought back 2 beef and cheese sandwiches and some coffee. At 5:46, we got a call from the men in Unit 1K5 telling us that they were on the way into the office with the gun that had been used in the killing of Norman Mancrief. 10 minutes later, 2 uniformed officers brought in a pair of possible car thieves. One of them was held in the hall while Frank and I talked to the driver of the car, a Melville Hulbert, age 19.
Where'd you get the car?
I bought it.
Where?
Well, from a lady. She put an ad in the paper, said she had this year Sharp 52 Ford for sale.
You remember what paper?
Well, no, sir. Yeah, I think it was one of them morning ones.
When did you buy the car?
I don't know.
Well, you must have some idea.
I reckon maybe it was in January. Yeah, around there in January.
Let me take a look at your driver's license, will you?
Yes, sir. There you are.
Take it out of the wallet, will you?
Oh, yes, sir. Here it is.
Is this your present address?
Sir?
You still live here on Echo Park Boulevard?
Oh, no, sir, I moved. I got me a place over on Olympic.
How long you lived there?
You mean on Olympic, sir?
That's right.
I don't know. Reckon maybe a couple months.
Don't you know for sure?
Well, see, I got this here bad memory. I think it's been a couple months.
You live with your family?
No, sir. They down south.
Where's that?
New Orleans.
Do they know you're out here?
Yes, sir.
When did you come to California?
August.
Last year?
Yeah, last year.
You got a job?
Aircraft factory out in the valley.
It's kind of a long drive to work for you, isn't it?
Yes, sir. But I got a good deal on the place I live at, see?
How come you haven't reported the change of address to the Department of Motor Vehicles?
Reckon I just forgot. I got this here bad memory, you know.
When you bought the car, did you finance it?
Sir?
You buy it on time, you pay cash for it.
Cash.
You got the pink slip then, haven't you?
The lady sold it to me, signed it.
Where is it?
I don't know, sir.
Didn't she give it to you?
No, sir. She just told me she was going to send it to Sacramento someplace.
Did you get any kind of a receipt for your money?
Yes, sir.
Well, where's it?
In my wallet?
Let's see it.
Yes, sir. I got it right here someplace. Pretty funny about this.
What's that?
Well, I wouldn't steal no car. It's pretty funny to think I did.
Mm-hmm. All right, now how about that receipt? Have you found it yet?
Yes, sir. Now, here it is.
Who wrote this?
The lady sold me the car.
Is her name here?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. She wrote it.
When did you say you bought the car?
Well, January, I guess.
This year, huh?
Yes, sir.
You sure you couldn't be wrong about the date?
Oh, now I don't know. Maybe.
Where'd you meet the woman who wrote this receipt?
At her place?
Where's that?
Out in Westwood. I think that's what you call it. Apartment out there.
You remember the address?
No, sir.
Haven't got any idea at all where it is, huh?
Well, it was up on Wilshire, I know that. Apartment on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was number B or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I'll check.
Now, what'd you make all that big deal about when I bought the car?
Date on the bill of sale is a year ago.
Oh, somebody must have made a mistake.
Yeah, we knew that when you walked in. We're trying to find out who. What do you got, anything?
Yeah, it checks out. Names in the book. West Apartment D.
Yeah, now that could be it. I know it was on the second floor. Looks right out on Wilshire Boulevard.
All right, Mel. You go over there and sit down. We'll be right with you.
It's going to be okay?
We'll see.
Now, look, I didn't steal that car, mister. I should have told him about how I moved. But I did not steal the car.
All right. You go over there and sit down, will you?
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
Well, it seems to check out. Date on the bill of sale could be a mistake. Woman might have just written the wrong year.
Yeah, it's pretty close to first if it happened.
Like to give the kid his first felony booking, don't you?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Well, let's hold him over till we can check with the woman.
Yeah.
Officers? Gonna be all right?
We'll see.
You ain't going to send me to jail.
No, not yet. You can wait down the hall, will you?
Now, as long as you know I did not steal the car.
We'll check with the woman first thing in the morning. I want to tell you one thing, though.
Yes, sir?
We're going to give you a break by not booking you right now. Don't make us sorry about it.
Oh, no, sir. Thank you.
All right, go on. Get out of here.
Where's Jimmy?
He's down the hall. The officer there will take you.
Yes, sir. Officers?
Yeah.
Thank you again. You hear?
Yeah, you take care of that bad memory, will you?
I got it. Headquarters Smith. Oh, yeah. Yeah? What's the address? No, he's not here. Just a second, I'll check. Policeman out in Hollywood wants permission to kill a skunk.
What?
Wants to kill a skunk caught in a trap.
I guess it's all right if it's the only way they can get rid of it.
Well, the way he puts it, it is.
All right.
Go ahead. Yeah. What's that? Well, I don't know. You better check with the watch commander. Yeah. Okay, good night. I got an injured animal report. Turns out the people out there had trouble with skunks, got a permit for the traps, and caught one tonight. Once they had it, they didn't know how to get rid of it.
I better make a report on it.
That's been pretty funny.
Huh?
Officer said we could use the skunk in the department.
What was that?
Officer said we could use the skunk in the department. Says he'd qualify on the target range any day.
I get it. Headquarters Friday. No, we got the word. Where you been? Check out with the lab? No. No, we'll wait. 1K5.
Yeah.
They just picked up a third person in the shooting. 3 minutes later, the officers in Unit 1K5 brought in a tired-looking man in his late 20s. His name was Harry Carnell. He'd been drinking, but he seemed to be in complete control of his faculties. We ran his name through R&I, but we found no record on him. The officers also brought in the murder weapon, a .32 caliber automatic. A check of gun records gave us the name of the store where it had been bought and the name of the owner. According to the registration, it belonged to Fred Purcell. The crime lab reported there were no fingerprints on the weapon. We tried once more to talk to Purcell, but again we were unable to. We asked Harry Carnell, the latest suspect, to tell us the story of the shooting.
I went up to the place to collect some money Mancrief owed me.
What happened when you got to the apartment?
Knocked on the door and Purcell let me in.
Who was in the room?
Just him and Mancrief.
That's all, huh?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I came in and said I had to have the loot, and Mancrief told me he was stony.
Yeah.
He said to check him tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Purcell got on his back, said he was always welching, and the beef started.
You mean between them, huh?
Yeah, they were both pretty gassed when I got there.
You have anything to drink with them?
No, I had a date, sir. That's what I needed the money for. I got a girl with a pretty big appetite. I was broke, and I figured I'd tap Mancrief for what he owed me.
All right.
Anyway, these two got in a big beef. Purcell told Mancrief to get out. He wouldn't go, so Purcell ran over to a desk there in the room and hauled out this big gun, started to blaze away.
How many shots did you fire?
Well, one's all I remember. Might have been more, but I didn't spend a lot of time counting.
Just one, huh?
Yeah. Well, a guy sets a clay pigeon on your head. You ain't going to stand there.
What happened then?
Well, Purcell pointed the gun at me. He said I should get out, too. I didn't feel like telling him he was wrong.
During the time you were there, did you see anybody else at all?
No. Fred's wife was around someplace, I guess.
Why do you say that?
Well, they started yelling at each other. I heard Mancrief say they'd bother Harriet. That's Fred's wife, Harriet.
Uh-huh.
I took off like a big bird.
Where'd you go?
My place. Had a couple of belts and then walked by the apartment to see what was going on. An old broad there started yelling about how I was the guy who ran out of the place after the shooting. Next thing I know, I got the collar on, and here I am.
Uh-huh. What was Purcell doing when you last saw him?
Just standing over Mancrief, holding the gun, looking like a cover on a pulp magazine.
You willing to sign a statement on what you just told us?
Well, sure. I got no part in this action. Just went to collect the bet at the wrong time, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty lousy night. Missed my date, didn't collect the money, end up in the can. It's pretty lousy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not the only one, though. Old Purcell always thought he was such a great card player. He's a real fish. He lost $6 tonight.
Well, your part right.
Huh?
He lost more than that, didn't he? Harry Carnell was taken to the report room where he made a full statement. At 7:03 a.m., Lieutenant Ray Giese from Homicide Division came in and took over the investigation. Fred Purcell was questioned, and he made a voluntary statement that he'd shot and killed Norman Moncrief. He couldn't remember why he'd done it. He was removed to the main jail and booked in on a charge of violation of Section 192 PC, manslaughter. His wife and Carnell were released from custody. We made out reports to all divisions for the follow-ups on crimes committed during the night. At 8:02 a.m., the men on the day watch came in and relieved us.
It's going to be a nice day.
Yeah.
A few clouds up there. Might keep the heat down.
Yeah, let's go.
You want to stop for breakfast?
Well, I guess we might as well, yeah.
What do you think, Joe? You like to draw the business office for permanent duty?
No, sir, not me. I guess okay once in a while. I don't think I'd like it steady, though.
Huh?
Not busy enough.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On November 18th, trial was held in Department 98, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Further investigation proved that the purchase of the automobile by Melville Hulbert was legal, and no further charges were made. Frederick Neal Purcell was tried and found guilty of manslaughter and received punishment as prescribed by law. Manslaughter is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period not to exceed 10 years. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This one's about Pete Kelly. It's about the world he goes around in. It's about the big music, and the big trouble, and the big 20s. So when they ask you, tell them this one's about the blues. Pete Kelly's blues. Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Joe Eisinger and music by Dick Kessner.
My name's Pete Kelly. I play cornet. You'll find us at 417 Cherry Street, Kansas City, on the Missouri side. It's a standard speakeasy. The slot in the front door is regulation size. Just wide enough to frame a suspicious eye, and the bottoms of the shot glasses aren't quite thick enough to reach the top. It's a well-run, orderly crib, the kind of a place the local prohibition agents can bring their wives to. The lease is owned by George Lupo. He's a fat, friendly little guy who always has his hand in his pocket. We start grinding every night about 10, and we play till Lupo runs out of inventory. But that's all right with us. He lets us play the kind of music we like. And on the breaks, he doesn't care how many nickels we throw into the pianola. Our nickels, his pianola. We were winding up the second set last night when Little Izzy came in. Little Izzy's a cab driver who's been working the joints up and down Cherry Street. He's carted more drunks than Lupo ever counted in his wildest dreams, and once a week he lights a candle to Mr. Volstead. But last night, Little Izzy wasn't hauling a lush. She was a white-haired, gentle old lady, the motherly type that Mary Carr plays in Over the Hill. She looked around the crib nervous and bewildered.
as little Izzy eased her down at the small table near the bar. He smiled at her as gently as little Izzy can smile and started for the bandstand. Hi, Izzy. How's the taxi business?
Yesterday I picked her up, and I've been hauling her ever since, from barrel house to barrel house, from crib to crib. What's she looking for? A girl. What girl? Her daughter. Who's her daughter? A singer. What's her name? June Gould.
June Gould.
You know her? You know this nail?
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl. I haven't heard about her for almost a year. She used to sing over at Morey's.
So where's she now? You know, huh? Where's she now?
I don't know.
6-2-0. Every crib we hit, yeah, sure, I remember June Gould, but where's she now? 6-2-0.
Well, look, maybe I can... Look, Izzy, tell the old woman to wait. Maybe I can send up a flare.
Oh, thanks, Petey boy, I got it. So good.
All right.
Pete?
Let's go. Yeah, Red.
That June Gould? Beautiful gal?
Yeah.
Ever hear Nails Norton?
Yeah.
Used to torch for her with a 1,000-watt torch.
So?
So she wouldn't give me coffee that spilled in a saucer.
So?
I wouldn't go asking around about her.
So let's do the number, huh?
For sure.
All right. Whispering, good and bright. Here we go. Everybody ready? All right. All right. Take 5. Use some nickels, huh, Red?
Oh, man, that Lupo, he's going to get rich off us.
Petey, this is Miss Gould.
How do you do, Miss Gould?
Miss Gould, this is Pete Kelly.
Mr. Kelly.
Mr. Kelly here said he'll take care of everything for you, Mrs. Gould.
Well, I didn't exactly say
Your
that.
worries are over now, Mrs. Gould, so I'll leave you with Mr. Kelly and good luck.
No, Izzy, wait a minute. Wait.
Mr. Kelly, I don't know how to thank you. You've given me new hope. I was ready to...
Sure, all right. Now, come on. It's going to be all right, Miss Gould. Don't cry.
Oh, I'm sorry. But it's so hard to...
Well, come on now. Let's unglue it. Tell me about it, huh?
Well, my little girl, June, she was always a very beautiful child. We lived alone in Cleveland. Her father died when she was a baby. She always had a lovely voice. She came here to Kansas City to get a start as a singer.
When was this?
2 years ago. Last I heard, she was working in a place called Maury's.
Mm-hmm.
She would write to me every week. Always send me a check for support. Oh, she's a good girl, Mr. Kelly. And I'm so worried.
How long haven't you heard from her?
Oh, it's been more than 6-7 months now. No letters at all. But each week a money order. But no letter.
Each week you get a money order? From her?
Well, I don't know. There's no letter, no name. Just a money order to support me. And I finally saved enough to come here to look for her.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, I've tried everything, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah. All right, you wait here, Mrs. Gould. I'll buzz around. Maybe I can come back with some answers for you.
And, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah.
I beg you to promise me. No matter what the answers are, you tell me the truth.
Yeah, sure. Well, the way I figured it, I could have told her the truth then, without even leaving the joint. But it wasn't easy. Not when you looked into her eyes. But where were the money orders coming from? Well, I had to make a pass at it, so I borrowed Red's Erskine coupe, drove out to the edge of town where Maury's Country Club balanced itself neatly on top of a well-kept hill. Nobody could get into Maury's front door unless he showed a white tie. I got in through the kitchen and made for Maury's private office up on the second floor.
Yes?
Can I buy a minute of your time, Maury?
Come in, Pete. What can I do for you?
You remember a singer who worked for you, June Gould?
Yes. A cigar?
No, no thanks.
June Gould. I remember June Gould. Why?
You got an idea where she is now?
Why?
Well, I'm trying to get a line on her.
Why?
For her mother. She's in town looking for her.
I heard.
She see you?
She tried.
You wouldn't see her?
No.
Why not?
I had no information for her.
You got some information for me?
No, no information. But if you ask me, do I have advice, maybe that I got.
Like what?
Like stay away from this old lady, Kelly, or maybe you'll never live to be as old as she is.
Yeah, I see. Thanks. Maury?
Yeah?
Is Nails Norton still in town?
You know something, Kelly?
Yeah?
I can't figure how you live to be as old as you.
And that did it. As clearly as he could, Maury was trying to tell me to go back to Lupo's, pick up my horn, and blow myself to a comfortable old age. And I agreed with him. That was the smart thing for me to do. Go back to 417 and forget all about June Gould. So I hustled the Erskine back downtown, cut across the 12th Street Bridge to the Kansas side, jolted down Boulder Road to Fat Annie's place and Maggie Jackson. Maybe more than a few people in town knew what had happened to June Gould, but if there was anybody who knew and who would tell me, it'd be Maggie Jackson. Maggie was just going into a number when I walked in.
You're just in time, Pete. I need some strong support.
Hi, Maggie.
How about helping me through one course of What Have I Done?
I didn't bring my horn.
How about Artie Hamilton's? He's in the back room. He won't mind. Here.
Well, okay. Wait a minute. You better let me try an A here. It's a little loud. Just a minute. Okay, just a second. All right, I guess we can try it.
All right. What have I done?
I was blue, but now I'm bluer. Wish I knew wherever you were. What have I done to make you do this to me? Can't we do
nice, Petey. Thanks a lot.
Sure, Maggie. Here's Artie's horn. Look, Maggie, I need some information. Maybe you got an open line.
What's bothering you, Petey?
Maggie, you ever hear of a gal named June Gould?
June Gould.
Yeah, she worked over at Maury's over on the hill.
Oh, yeah. Tall, flaming red hair with real green eyes.
Yeah.
And a voice like red velvet. Whatever became of her?
That's what I'm trying to find out, Maggie.
Ain't thought about her in a long time. She just dropped out of sight suddenly, like last year's calendar.
Well, you got any idea at all, Maggie? Anything you heard?
No, Petey. Never did know much about that gal, except she used to bunk with another gal.
Who?
Dancer down at the Cuban casino. Name of Flora Acosta.
Flora Acosta, huh? Thanks, Maggie.
Sure. Good luck, Pete.
Well, the Cuban casino is a minor league trap over in Spanish Town. They deal strictly for the natives who are homesick for their own rhythm. Flora Costa was just going into her big finish. I folded myself into a corner and waited. Miss Acosta? Can I talk to you for a minute?
What is it?
Well, it's kind of noisy out here.
Well, I'm sorry, but I just...
Look, have you heard from June Gould lately?
Come into my dressing room, please.
All right.
Hello, little bird. Oh, you're such a happy little bird. Excuse me, senora. Another costume for my next number.
Sure, it's all right.
Now, tell me, who are you?
Pete Kelly. I play cornet over at 417 Cherry.
Oh, yes. Now I know.
Well, I was told that you used to live with June Gould.
See, that's right.
You know where she is now?
No.
Well, when did you see her last?
Oh, a long time ago. I don't know.
Did she say where she was going?
No, she just pack up and go. Goodbye. Goodbye, Fleur, my darling. She say and she go. That's how she was.
That's how she was?
See.
Not how she is.
Okay.
Well, you said was, like you don't think she is anymore.
Senor, I'm very sorry. You make so much English for me. Hello, little bird. Such a happy little bird.
Yeah. Do you know any of her boyfriends?
Boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, see, she has lots of boyfriends. Oh, so many.
Nails Norton?
Okay.
One of her boyfriends, Nails Norton?
I'm sorry, senor.
Yeah, I know. I make too much English for you.
Well, she has so many boyfriends. It's very confusing.
Did you meet any of them?
Believe me, senor, it's so confusing.
Yeah, do you remember any of her
She
boyfriends?
packed all her bags and she said, goodbye, Fleur. Goodbye, my darling. I'm going to be a bride.
She was going to be married?
See, that's it, married.
Who is he?
Yeah?
The man she was going to marry.
Oh, he's a very rich man, and she loves him very much. And she's so happy. Goodbye, Fleur, she said. Goodbye, my darling.
Yeah, I know. Now, what's his name?
His name, Bishop. You have in English a name, Bishop?
Bishop?
See, Tom Bishop. Very rich man.
Do you know where he lives?
In a big house, a very rich house.
The street?
Well, I don't know, but a very rich street.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Senor.
Yeah.
How you come to me with all these questions? You make me very sad, very worried about my friend. You think she's all right?
Sure.
You will please let me know, senor? I would be very sad, very worried about her.
Sure.
Thank you, senor. Hello, little bird. Such a happy little bird.
Well, I left the happy little bird and found me a city directory. Thomas Bishop, Vice President, Grundy Savings Bank and Loan. Residence, 440 North Camberwell. Well, the house was set well back from the street, surrounded by an ornate iron fence and $1 million worth of shrubbery. I made the long trip to the front door on foot, punched the door buzzer.
Yes?
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
My name's Pete Kelly. Is Mrs. Bishop at home?
What do you want with her?
Her mother's in town.
Her mother?
Yeah, she'd like to see her.
Are you sure you have the right bishop?
You're Thomas Bishop, aren't you?
Yes, but my wife's mother is dead.
You sure?
Of course I'm sure. I buried her.
You buried her?
10 years ago. I'm sorry, young man. You must have the wrong bishop.
No, I got the right bishop, but the wrong wife. What'd you do with June Gould?
Be quiet.
Afraid your wife will hear?
What do you want?
I want to know what happened to June Gould.
Please, Mr. Kelly, not here.
Police headquarters suit you better?
I beg you, come away from the house.
All right. Now, come on, tell me about it.
Mr. Kelly, I assure you...
I don't want assurances. I want information. Where's June Gould?
I don't know.
You were going to marry her?
It was a misunderstanding.
You mean you already had a misunderstanding, wife, huh?
June knew I was married, but we loved each other. We were going to run away.
And what happened?
I don't know.
Now, come on, you're going to have to do better than that.
We decided we'd made all the arrangements, and I never saw her again. I never heard from her. I searched everywhere, tried everything, but without success. Please believe me, Mr. Kelly. I'm telling you the honest truth.
And you never got a line on her? No lead at all?
Nothing. Except a vague rumor that she'd been seen with a man named Maxie Finn.
Maxie Finn? The two-bit bookie?
Yes. I was shocked when I learned what he is. I couldn't believe that she would...
Yeah, leave the great Mr. Bishop for a mouse like Maxie Finn? That's what needled you, huh?
No, Mr. Kelly. I don't blame you for thinking that. But the truth is, I loved her. She was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. And for the first time in my life, You see, I married when I was very young, calculatingly, to put myself ahead in the world. Well, my marriage gave me what I thought it would, great financial success. But I didn't realize I was only living half a life until I met June.
Yeah. Did you talk to Finn?
No, not directly. But I did have communication with him.
Cautious type, huh?
Yes. But for June Gould to spend the rest of whatever life I have left with her, I was ready to throw away all caution.
You asked Finn about her?
Yes.
What word did he send back?
Only 2. Dropped dead.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to buy your story, but if it doesn't hang together, I'll be back for another one. Well, I knew where to find Maxie Finn, at the dice table in back of Sartori's garage. I pointed the Erskine for downtown KC. Maybe Bishop's story would hang together, and maybe it wouldn't. Traffic in back of Sartori's garage was heavier than out front. The crap table was getting a big play. I spotted Maxie Finn's pasty face hanging over the $1 line.
And the number is 5. Make the point or break the joint. And the man throws. Days in the week, pass the dice to make some ice. All right, get aboard, boys. Get aboard. Get aboard.
I got to talk to you.
I'm on the roll.
And the dice read. Days in the week, 7 the man's down. Pass the dice to make some ice. Everybody wins. Everybody plays. Lay it on the line. We pay it on the line.
Nothing but throwouts, all.
All right, let's get over here, Finn. It's important.
What's your problem, Kelly?
Right or wrong, I go along.
All right, Kelly, I'm on the sock. My arm's cooling off. What's the hustle?
June Gould.
What?
June Gould.
You lost me.
You sent word the Bishop dropped dead.
I send you the same.
All right, come on. What happened to June Gould, Maxie?
To me, you read like boxcars. Goodbye, Kelly.
Come here. Now, where is she? All right, come on. What'd you do to her?
Nothing. I see her for maybe a couple of months, that's all.
Why didn't she meet Bishop?
She never said.
Where'd she go after she left you?
I don't know.
But you got a pretty good idea.
You got all I know. All right. Maybe I can get a line. I'll call you. I'll try and I'll call you.
All right, at Lupo's.
Yeah, I promise. At Lupo's.
Just to make sure you keep your promise, Maxie, here's a nickel. If you don't use it, I'll be back to take it away from you. Well, I had to leave it that way. I knew that by pushing Maxie Finn around, I'd started something in motion. There'd have to be a reaction. Back at 417, I found Mrs. Gould right where I'd left her. She looked up at me anxiously as I went over to her table.
Any news, Mr. Kelly?
I'm waiting for word now, Mrs. Gould.
Do you think that...
Mrs. Gould, I don't think. This is the time for waiting. It's the toughest time of all. Where are you stopping?
The Jefferson Hotel.
All right, now look, you go back there.
Oh,
no, don't argue. No, you're sitting in this trap the rest of the night. Get yourself some rest. I'll call you as soon as I get word.
All right, Mr. Kelly. I'll do as you say. Somehow I feel you're the only one who could help me.
All right, Miss Gould. Bye. All right, let's hold it down. Hold it down.
Come on, Petey. Let's get with it. We lost all our business without a nickel.
All right. What's up?
Blues and B flat.
All right, I'll give you the pickup. Yeah.
Nails Norton. Heading this way.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah?
Come down off of there.
What for?
This squirrel. Now you forget all about June Gould, see? Next time I drop you, you won't get up ever.
Well, I pulled myself together from all corners of the joint, raced for the Erskine, walloped it downtown to Sartori's garage. I felt no pain, nothing but a wild, flaming anger. I had all my connections, from Maggie to Flora, to Bishop, to Finn, to Nails. Finn to Nails Norton. Finn kept his promise all right. He'd used the nickel, but not to call me. The crap game was still hot, but Maxie Finn had lammed. I tore around town and finally caught up with Finn in the back room at Joe Donegan. He saw me coming, turned a dirty gray, and tried to duck out the back. He never made it. The first word I threw at him was a right from the floor. All right, Maxie.
Please, Kelly. Stop it, Kelly, stop it.
All right. You called Nails Norton.
I had to.
You told him I'm looking for June Gould. Now, give me the truth.
725 Baltimore.
Louder.
June. 725 Baltimore. The truth, Kelly, the truth. 725, room 6.
All right, Maxie. If you ain't leveling this time, I'll break you in two. 725 Baltimore was only 3 traffic violations away from Joe Donegan. It wasn't much of a place and never was. I found room 6 on the second floor. I rapped on the door and waited. I rapped again. The door was opened wide. First thing I saw across the room was something propped up in a chair. It was all wrapped up in a quilted bathrobe that the house dog probably refused. Long, lifeless hair straggled down onto the shoulders. It must have been a woman, but I wouldn't swear to it in a court of law. You couldn't tell by the face, a mass of gnarled, scarred tissue, the mouth pulled into a permanent, fixed grin. A bottle of gin was held on a broomstick hand. The first shock over, I looked at the man behind the door. That was the second shock, the one I didn't get over. Nails Norton.
All right, Nails. Tell him to come all the way in.
Go ahead.
You got a strong stomach, Kelly? Says if you ain't, you better look the other way. Nails here. He's got a good, strong stomach, ain't you, Nails?
Yes, June.
Yeah, I'm June. June Gould, the beauty.
Yeah.
Well, you finally found me, Kelly. Now take a good look. Something to remember on those long nights when you can't sleep.
What happened?
He wants to know what happened there.
This isn't good for you, dear. Let me take you
No,
out.
I'll tell him. Acid. That's what happened.
Who?
Tom Bishop's wife.
But he doesn't know.
Nobody knows. Except his wife, Maxie Finn and Nails. Now you. Yeah. She knew about me and Tom. She came before I could meet him with the acid.
You never did anything to her. Never.
What could I do that would give me back my face? No, let her live with it. Maxie Finn, he found me like that, took care of me. All the while Nails here, he was looking for me. Nails, he always cared for me. Didn't you, Nails?
Yes, I did.
Now Nails takes good care of me. Sees that I have everything I need. And all I need's a quarter day. All I need and all I want. Nails is a good boy. He even sends my mother money every week. He's a good boy.
She's in Kansas City, your mother.
Yeah, we heard. Why Nails tried to stop you.
Well, why don't you? You could write to her.
No, letters can be traced.
Yeah, but she's worried sick about you. If you could only let her know.
What? Let her know what? You think I want to let her see me like this? You think she...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kelly. You found me. Tell her. Bring her to see me. Make the rest of her days happy.
Yeah.
Kelly.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Apologize to Maxie Finn.
starring Jack Webb, with story by Joe Eisinger and music by Dick Cathcart. Scoring by Matty Matlock.
The music of Pete Kelly's Big Seven consists of Dick Cathcart on cornet, Matty Matlock on clarinet, Nick Fatul on drums, Ray Sherman on piano, George Bennett on guitar, Zeb Burnett on bass, Mo Schneider on trombone. The songs of Maggie Jackson were written by Arthur Hamilton. Pete Kelly's Blues is a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. An attractive divorcee disappears from her home. There's no lead to her whereabouts. There's evidence of foul play. Your job? Find her.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, June 10th. It was mild in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. We're on our way out from the office, and it was 11:15 a.m. when we got to 2962 Reservoir Street. Front door.
You the policeman?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Harrison?
That's right. Come on in.
Thank you. My partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Oh, how do you do?
are you, ma'am?
I was expecting you.
Yes, ma'am.
Other officers said there'd be somebody here from the detectives to see me. You men from the detectives?
That's right, Miss Harrison.
I got some coffee on if you'd like a cup while we talk.
No, thank you. No, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. You want to sit down there? We can get started on this.
All right.
I made some little notes this morning after the other policeman left. I thought it might help me to remember.
Uh-huh.
They didn't find anything when they went to Josephine's house, did they?
No, they haven't. What if you'd tell us what you know about her disappearance?
I'd be glad to. Last time I saw her was Friday. The 6th, last Friday.
Mm-hmm. Where was that?
Out in her yard. She was hanging up clothes, and we got to talking, about neighborhood stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
We talked for a little while. Her hanging up clothes, and I was working around the yard.
Did there seem to be anything wrong then?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, did she seem upset about anything?
Well, not that she told me about. We were pretty close. She told me just about everything happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
When her and Jordan was still married, we used to get together all the time, have a little barbecue, maybe take in the drive-in movie.
That's her husband?
Yeah, Jordan Allen.
She's divorced then?
Yeah. I got the interlocutory about 6 months ago. Not final yet.
Where's Mr. Allen now?
Well, the last I heard, he was working down San Diego.
Do you know where we might get in touch with him?
Well, not right off. Must be some letters over to Josephine's, though. He was always writing her.
Was there any trouble between them?
They got a divorce.
Well, that's not what I mean. I mean after. Did they have any arguments, any disagreements?
Oh, off and on. Jordan wanted to get back together again, always asking her to call off the decree.
Mm-hmm. Did he see her often?
I don't think they got together in the last couple of months. No, Josephine got some phone calls from him, though.
From San Diego?
Yeah.
Did Mrs. Allen say anything to you about taking vacation, anything like that?
No, if she'd had anything like that in mind, she'd have told me. We were pretty close.
Did she have any men friends that you know of?
Oh, she's a handsome woman, Mr. Friday. She had a lot of them.
Well, did she see any one person more than the others, would you know?
David Lansing. They used to go out quite a bit. I think David wanted to marry her as soon as the divorce was final.
Has he been around lately, would you know?
Not since Josephine disappeared.
How about before that?
I had a date with her the very night before. Went out to dinner and then went dancing.
Any trouble between them, would you know?
I don't want to get mixed up in anything, Mr. Friday. You can understand that, can't you?
Yes, ma'am, we can. But if you know anything about Mrs. Allen's disappearance, we'll have to ask that you tell us.
It's just that I don't want David to find out about it.
Well, he won't hear it from us.
That's a promise?
Yes, ma'am.
How about you?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then, if you ask me, I'd say that David had something to do with Josephine's being gone.
Why do you say that?
Because they were always fighting. I could hear them all the way over here.
What'd they argue about, do you know?
Well, David wanted to marry her. And she wouldn't tell him whether she would or not until after the divorce was final. The way she put it, until she got the papers, she was still a married woman.
Lansing didn't like that, huh?
No, not a bit. About 10 days ago, I was over there. My TV was on the blank, and I went over to see one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
David was there, and it wasn't no time before they was at it, yelling and screaming. Kind of made me embarrassed. That's when he said it.
What was that?
Said for Josephine to get rid of Jordan, or David would get rid of her.
We continued to question the Harrison woman about Mrs. Allen. She could give us no reason for her disappearance. Frank and I left and went next door. We checked through the house. It was exactly the way the two uniformed officers had found it that morning. The shades on all of the windows were drawn. None of the furniture seemed to be disturbed. There was no sign of a struggle. On the dining room table, there was a setting for two people. Silverware, napkins, glasses. They're all ready to be used. On the plates themselves was a complete meal. None of the food had been touched. We looked for Mrs. Allen's luggage. There was no way of being sure, but apparently none of her things had been taken. We went on through the house and out into the backyard. There was no sign of anything wrong out there either.
Sure doesn't figure, does it?
Well,
Table all set, food, none of it touched.
well, there's an answer someplace.
Yeah?
Let's check the garage.
All right.
I get it.
Oh, no sign here.
No. You want to check the stuff at the back?
Yeah.
Trunk here. Look at this. Looks like stains of some kind.
Better take a look, huh? The way it's wrapped up, they're going to mail it.
Yeah. Labels and everything here.
A rope. You got anything to cut this with?
Might be something here. Wait a minute. Here, we can try this.
Oh, thanks.
Keep those knots.
Yeah. Here. Give me a hand with the lock, will you?
Yeah. It's coming out. There we are. All right. We know where she is.
Yeah.
Let's find out who put her there. The crew from the crime lab was called, and they came out to go over the house and the garage. Frank and I called the office and told them what we'd found. We checked the labels on the trunk. They were addressed to a David Lansing on Rowena Avenue out in Glendale. We went back to the woman who put in the original call. From her, we got a complete description of Lansing, and we called it into the office. We found that he had an arrest record listing several drunk charges and 2 major 415s, fights. While the men from the crime lab continued their investigation on the scene, Frank and I drove over to see Lansing. He wasn't home. We talked to his landlady, but she told us that she hadn't seen him in several days. She was unable to tell us where he was employed. We checked his room and we questioned her about his car. She gave us the name and business address of his roommate. We drove over to see him. He worked in a large television store on Pico Boulevard.
Yes, sir. Something I can do for you?
I'd like to see Mark Gilson.
That's me.
Police officers, Mr. Gilson. This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
How are you? What can I do for you?
We'd like to ask you a couple questions about David Lansing.
Dave in trouble again?
Do you know where he is?
No, I haven't seen him for a couple of days.
You have no idea where you can find him?
Well, if I had, you'd sure get it. Say, can you tell me what this is all about?
It'd be better if we talked to Lansing about it.
Yeah, if he's in the beef again, I'd just as soon stay out of it. Won't make me unhappy.
When did you see him last?
The day?
That's it.
Well, let me see. I guess it was Friday night.
He say anything to you that might give us a lead as to where we can find him?
No, I was home when he came in. He was pretty bugged about something.
Do you know what it was?
Only a couple of things ever got Dave upset, his boss or his girl.
Do you know his girl?
No, never met her. Dave was all the time talking about how we were going to get together some night, have dinner, take in a few places. We never quite got around to it, though.
Uh-huh. You ever say anything about it?
No, not much. He was pretty crazy about her. Wanted to marry her just as soon as her divorce was final.
What was he mad about when you saw him last, you know?
Well, I guess it was Josephine. That's his girl.
Yeah, we know.
And he was sore about her. She's got this husband down south someplace. I don't know, either San Pedro or San Diego, somewhere down there.
Yeah?
He was trying to get Josephine to come back to him, call off the divorce. He's always calling about it, trying to see her. Made Dave sore. The way he put it, he and Joe had gotten into a beef about it that day.
Mm-hmm. That was Friday?
Yeah. He had a couple of drinks before he got home, and while he was there and we were talking, he had a couple more. Got pretty mean.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Dave doesn't drink too good. All he needs is a couple. He thinks he can lick the world. He gets pretty mean. I don't like to have him around when he's loaded.
He give you any idea where he was going?
No, I left him at the apartment.
What time was that?
Oh, I don't know. About 6:30, around in there. I had a date with a girl. She lives out in the Santa Monica Canyon. Takes about an hour to drive out there. I left about 6:30 because I met this girl at 7:30.
Lansing was still in the apartment, huh?
Yeah. He's just sitting there pouring the booze away. I told him take it easy, slow down. He said for me not to worry. Said he had to decide on something. I figured it was about Josephine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dave really loved that girl. All this stuff with her ex-husband was just eating at him. I guess he was just trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing about Dave. It takes him a while to make up his mind about what to do, but once he decides, there's nothing to stop him.
That's so.
Oh, yeah. It takes him a while, but he's always right.
No, not always.
What do you mean?
Looks like he missed this time. Frank and I went back to the office. We got out a local broadcast and an APB on David Lansing, along with the information on his automobile. We made arrangements for a stakeout to be placed on his home. A call was put through to the firm who employed him, but they told us that he hadn't shown up for work that week. Frank and I went back to the crime lab, and we met with Lieutenant Lee Jones. He went over the physical evidence found at the murder scene. The trunk itself had been checked over, as well as the ropes it was tied with and the mailing label. There was nothing about the trunk to tell where it might have come from. The rope was of a common variety that could be purchased anywhere. The knots, however, were of a type generally used by seamen to secure heavy articles. We made arrangements to obtain samples of Lansing's handwriting for comparison with the writing on the label. The evidence was marked and booked. The next morning, Frank and I met with Captain Lorman, and we went over what we had. It was decided that in David Lansing we had a prime suspect. After we left the city hall, we started to check out the people listed in Lansing's package as friends or acquaintances. First one we talked to was a Miss Dodie Fredericks.
Honey, he's a bum.
Well, how long have you known him?
About 10 years we went together. Even thought about getting married. It was all a big deal. Right now, I don't much care if I never see him again.
When did you see him last?
Let's see. I guess it was Saturday. Yeah, Saturday night.
What was last week?
That's right. He came in the place. We talked.
What place?
Bar over on 6th. I worked there as a sort of hostess.
What'd Lansing say when you saw him?
Not much. I did most of the talking, just like usual.
Mm-hmm.
Just came in, sat in a booth. Always sits in a booth. Ordered a drink, and we talked. It was kind of slow, so we just sat and talked.
What'd you talk about?
The old days. I'm not going to give you a line. I was in love with Dave, always was, right from the first time I saw him. I wanted to marry him. Everything was going good until he met this Allen broad.
All right.
All of a sudden, he figures I ain't good enough for him or something like that. Anyway, he drops me right in the middle of the street, takes off.
You say anything about Mrs. Allen Saturday night?
Honey, he don't talk much else. All the time it's what she said or what she did. All the time that way.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think she was the Taj Mahal or something the way he talked about her.
Yeah, but what did he say Saturday night?
Just about old Josephine. I tell you, I'm so sick of that name I could scream. Big deal with him, too. He's always around her, but when he's got a problem, who do you think he comes running to?
We wouldn't know.
I'll tell you, me. She gives him the bad time, and he comes to me to get over it. Always been like that. Meets some girl, and right away it's the real thing. Always ends up the same way. He comes back.
Mm-hmm.
thinks he's a real big man all the time with the chicks. One of these days, I'm going to tell him that. Tell him to leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
Going to tell him as soon as he comes back.
What do you mean? About when he comes back? You know where he is?
No, but when he was in here Saturday, he was broke. Borrowed $30 from me.
Yeah.
Said he had to leave town.
We continued to talk to Dodie Fredericks. We got as much information as we could from her. She told us that Lansing had said he was going to San Francisco. We asked her if he had any friends in the Bay City. She supplied us a list of names. We went back to the office and got in touch with the authorities in San Francisco and asked them to check on the suspect for us. We put in a call to the coroner's office. The body had been posted and the time of death was set at some time Friday night. We checked out the rest of Lansing's friends and associates without result. We re-questioned the suspect's roommate, and we went over his apartment again, but we failed to turn up any evidence that might aid us in taking him into custody. 2 days passed. Saturday, June 14th. Frank and I checked in for work.
How's it going, Joe?
All right.
Say, you got a date tonight?
What was that?
I say you got a date tonight.
What do you mean?
Well, I just wondered if maybe you'd like to drop over for dinner. You know, kind of sit around, talk.
Well, I didn't have anything planned.
Good. When it's all set, I'll give Faye a call.
Okay. I get it. Homicide, Friday. Yeah. When'd you get him? Be right over. Right. Come on. We've got to get over to the main jail.
What's the matter?
They found Lansing. We went over to the main jail and picked up David Lansing. He'd been arrested that morning and booked for drunk, violation of Section 4127A of the Los Angeles Municipal Code. As soon as the officers at the jail had made sure of his identity, they called us. He was taken back to the city hall to handwriting. An exemplar of his handwriting was taken for comparison with the printing on the label found on the trunk. Frank and I took the suspect back to the interrogation room for questioning. He was fairly sober, but he complained of a bad headache. Frank went down the hall and brought back some coffee. We told Lansing of Josephine Allen's death. It didn't seem to make any difference to him.
It's hot.
You get it down, it'll help you.
Isn't anything that'll do me any good. I just got to wait it out.
All right, Lansing, you want to tell us why you did it? You want to tell us why you killed Josephine Allen?
I'd like to help you out. There's only one problem. I didn't do it.
Well, the evidence doesn't point that way.
Well, you better take another look.
Were you in the service, Lansing?
No, I got deferred. Bad ear.
You ever do any work in the Merchant Marine?
No. I get sick on the boats at MacArthur Park.
Never did any sea duty, huh?
No. I'm the kind of fellow that can only take a shower.
Yeah.
Note for you, Friday.
Thanks. Frank?
Yeah.
I'll step out here.
What do you got?
Note here from Don Meyer.
Yeah.
They checked the exemplars of Lansing against the label on the trunk.
Yeah.
No match at all. Kind of looks like we might have the wrong man.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
The information from Handwriting Division on the results of the comparison made it possible that we had the wrong suspect in custody. The main two pieces of physical evidence we had were the knots used in tying the rope around the trunk and the label. On both counts, apparently David Lansing was out. We set out for more coffee for the suspect, and we continued to question him.
Look, I'll spell it out for you. I didn't have anything to do with killing her.
You saw her Friday, didn't you?
Yeah, but that don't mean I killed her.
Well, tell us what happened when you saw her.
From where?
From when she opened the door.
I went over to see her about 7:30.
Friday night?
Yeah, I went over to try to talk some sense into her.
Were you two having trouble?
Yeah.
About what?
The same thing all the time. I loved her. I loved her a lot. I wanted to marry the girl. All the time, his ex-husband's hanging around, trying to get her to come back. I had a belly full, and I wanted to get things straightened out, so I went to see her.
Yeah.
I didn't call and tell her. She was pretty hacked about it. Said I should have called. She got real sore.
Mm-hmm.
I asked her what was wrong. She never acted like that before. I wanted to know what the beef was.
All right.
So she filled me in on how Jordan was coming up from San Diego. They had some things to talk about. Big deal. All the time they were talking. Him trying to get her to come back. Got to the point where I didn't know where I stood.
Mm-hmm.
She told me to come in, but she said I couldn't stay long because she was expecting Jordan. Said he was coming up for dinner. I told her I wanted to marry her. I told her to make up her mind once and for all not to keep me on the string anymore.
What'd she say?
Told me to call her Saturday morning. Said she'd have something to tell me then.
Go ahead.
The way she put it, things were going to work out. After we talked for a little bit, I left. She told me she didn't want me there when the ex got to the place.
What time did you leave?
I don't know.
Well, you must have some kind of an idea.
Well, maybe 7:30 or 8, around in there. I'm not sure. I was pretty sore when I walked out. I didn't pay a lot of attention.
Where'd you go then?
I went home for a while. I sat around, and I went over to see a guy I know runs a little club on Alvarado. We sat there until the place closed, and after that I went home with him.
Why didn't you go on to your place?
No reason. He lived pretty close. We spent the night there.
Why'd you stop going to work?
What?
We checked with the place where you work. They say you haven't been to work this week.
I guess that's because I couldn't get in touch with Josephine.
How do you mean that?
I tried to call her Saturday morning. I didn't get any answer, so I figured that Jordan had talked her into coming back. I just went out on a run.
Did you try to see her? Well, did you go over to the house and try to see her?
Yeah, I went over Saturday night. There wasn't any answer. Shades were all pulled down. I figured sure she'd left town.
What'd you do?
Went down to a bar on 6th. Saw a girl I know. We talked. I guess I got pretty loaded. Next couple of days are kind of foggy.
You ever met Jordan Allen?
Yeah, once. Put it down that we didn't get along too good.
You know anything about him?
What do you mean?
Well, what kind of business is he in?
I think it's some kind of photography thing. He sells cameras or something like that.
You know anything about his background?
Not much. I only met the guy once. We didn't get along too good then. Near as I can remember from what Josephine told me, he worked on a boat.
Yeah.
Merchant marine for about 6 years.
You sure about that?
It's what I heard. Take it from there.
All right, we'll do that.
It's going to make a difference?
It might to you.
How do you figure?
You're lucky you get seasick. The suspect was returned to the main jail where he was held to answer on the drunk charge. We got in touch with Sergeant Tony McGuire down in San Diego and asked him to check on the victim's husband. Frank and I met with Chief of Detectives Thad Brown and Captain Warman. We laid out the information we'd been able to come up with. They agreed that we should drive to the Southland City and talk to Jordan Allen. We checked out a trip car and we drove down to talk to him. We found him at his home, a small clapboard house on B Street. From the way he looked, he'd been in bed when we rang the bell.
Come on in. What do you want to see me about?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
About what?
When's the last time you saw your wife?
Why?
We'd like to have an answer.
I don't know. Maybe a couple weeks ago.
Bring it down to a day, will you?
Why?
Pretty important to you.
Why to me?
You lay it out any way you want, mister. We asked it simple. You can give us the same kind of an answer now.
Look, you come in here, you're not from Dago. You got no right asking me anything.
Local authorities know we're here. Now, if you want us to ask them to ask the questions, it can be fixed up.
How about it, Alan?
Go ahead.
When did you see your wife last?
Must have been a couple weeks ago. I can't come up with a date for you.
What do you do for a living?
Sell photographic materials.
What kind of a job did you have before that?
First mate on a ship.
How long did you hold down that job?
6.5 years.
How'd you and your wife get along?
We were divorced.
I understand you saw her quite a bit, though.
Once in a while, yeah, not too often.
The way we got it, you were trying to get her to call off the divorce.
You've been listening to a lot of people with big mouths.
They seem to talk pretty straight, mister.
Well, you go and ask them the questions.
All right, Alan, get your clothes on.
What for?
If you don't want to talk here, we can make it downtown.
Oh, what do you want to know?
You account for your time last week?
What day?
I'll start with Monday.
Worked.
What'd you do at night?
Took in a movie.
Can you prove that?
Yeah, I took a girl I know. Works in one of the photo shops here in town. Check with her.
What about Tuesday?
Worked during the day. Stayed home Tuesday night.
You got any way to back that up?
No, I was alone.
All right, go ahead.
Wednesday, I had to go out of town. Took a run over to Riverside. Didn't get back till about 1:30.
In the morning?
Yeah.
You prove that?
Look, I can give you the names of the people I was with. You can call them if you have to.
All right.
If there's some way to get away from it, I'd sure appreciate it. I don't like to have them brought into it.
All right.
It's a business thing. The old man buys a lot of stuff from me. I don't want to ruin the contact.
What about Friday night?
Friday night, I was home all night. Didn't feel too good, so I was here all night.
Anybody to vouch for you?
No, I called a couple of people, but there wasn't anybody here.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night, I went out with the same girl I dated Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you want to tell me what this is all about?
We think you know.
Now, how would I know? You guys come in here cause a lot of trouble. How am I supposed to know what it's all about?
All right, Alan, we'll lay it out for you. Your wife's dead.
Josephine?
That's right.
When did it happen?
Last week.
You think I had something to do with it?
Everything we've got points that way.
Well, how do you figure that? Why'd I want to kill her? What reason would I have?
We want you to tell us.
Well, I haven't any. Now, come on, fellas. Tell me the truth. This is a joke, huh? How much did Jeff give you to pull the gas?
No joke.
Look, I don't know what he gave you, but I'll double it. You just tell me the bit, and I'll double your money. I'd like to get back at Jeff.
It's no joke, Alan. All the evidence we've got points out that you killed your wife. Now, we just want to know why.
You mean you really got a case you can take to court?
We're going to try. Now, how about it? You want to tell us? Alan?
I got scared. That's the only way you'd have known I got scared.
Go ahead.
I saw her Friday night. She said she'd have dinner with me, said we'd have some stuff to talk about. I went up to have dinner with her.
Yeah.
She told me she made up her mind, said she didn't want to get back together.
Mm-hmm.
This past 6 months, I figured it'd work out. All the time I kept calling her, asking her to take me back, all the time. I would have done anything in the world she asked me to do. She had just taken me back. None of it worked. We sat there, had a couple of drinks, and then she went out in the kitchen and got dinner ready. All the time, I figured sure she was going to say we were going back together.
Go ahead.
I went out in the kitchen with her, and we talked while she put the stuff on the plates. And then she told me she was going to marry this David Lansing. I tried to talk her out of it. I told her it wouldn't work. She just wouldn't listen.
Yeah.
Tried to tell her how she was making a mistake, but she wouldn't listen. She kept telling me to sit down and eat my dinner. Just kept telling me that. I just couldn't take any more of it. I couldn't see her going to anybody else. You can see that yourself. There wasn't anything else I could do. You can see that, can't you?
Why'd you put Lansing's name on that trunk?
Well, that's where I thought I was smart. I figured I'd have it sent to his place and then pick it up and get rid of it. If I couldn't do that, then he'd get the blame for it. Either way, it would have worked out for me.
All right, you want to get dressed?
Are you going to take me back to L.A.?
That's right.
I don't much care anymore. As long as she's gone, there isn't much. Big thing is that you know that I really loved her.
Yeah, sure.
No, you got to believe that I did love her. It's important that you believe me. I loved her.
Well, it's just one thing.
Yeah.
You had a funny way of showing it, didn't you?
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On November 18th, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial. Jordan Keith Allen was tried and convicted of murder in the second degree, one count, and received sentence as prescribed by law. Murder in the second degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of from 5 years to life. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Expenses from a detective bureau run by a guy named Anthony J. Lyon. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Jack Webb is Jeff Regan, Investigator. Hard-boiled action and mystery and thrilling adventure in tonight's story of the man who lived by the sea.
The next time you're out for a drive, pick up Olive Street along about the 700 block. You can't miss it. It's a big building made out of white granite. The Cosmopolitan Building. Anthony J. Lyon, the guy I work for, rents an office there. International Detective Bureau, Suite 308. A couple of rooms with a connecting wastebasket. The Lion has the only desk in the office and the typewriter that Remington dropped from their catalog back in 1915. I walked in about 11 o'clock last Tuesday morning. The room was loaded with taboo. She was a tall girl with a flock of black hair and a mink coat. The kind you see driving a Nash convertible down Sunset Boulevard on warm Sunday afternoons. No wonder the Lion's cigar was out. It was wet on both ends. He had one arm around her shoulders. He knew by this time that coat was the real article. There wasn't any music, but he didn't seem to mind.
Come on in, Regan.
Not much room to dance.
We got business.
She's your date.
This is Mr. Regan, Miss Kara.
How do you do, Mr. Regan? Mr. Lyon tells me you're just the man I want.
Well, he said the same thing to a mortician last week.
Miss Kara is associated with the famous psychic consultant Prince Nemo.
I help the prince look into people's minds.
Well, that ought to be fun if all your customers are under 6.
You don't believe in thought transference, Mr. Regan?
Do you?
Prince Nemo sent Miss Kara to retain an operator.
Why didn't he come himself?
Prince Nemo never appears in public.
He misses some good ball games.
He has television.
Yeah.
The prince prefers to spend his time in meditation and thought. I handle all of his outside contacts.
Regan, I want you to drive out to Prince Nemo's home in Ocean Town with Miss Kara and speak to the prince.
What kind of a retainer did he send you?
We don't discuss finances in front of clients.
Ah, this is another blind spot. You don't know what this guy wants?
He said it's a very delicate matter, and he wants to explain it to you himself.
Oh, sure. She waltzed in here with a check, and you'd sell your grandmother to a glue factory for $2.
Is there any way I can reassure you, Mr. Regan?
Buy me a battleship.
You got a license and a contract with International.
You want to tell me about it, lady?
Prince Nemo was very excited this morning. He called me in and told me to make the arrangements.
It's not enough script.
He never tells me anything. I just work for him. Will you please?
Yeah, all right.
Here's a nickel. Call me and tell me what's up.
Suppose I can't.
Then you got something for your piggy bank.
The lion stood there and watched us leave. He looked happy, like a hobo in a bubble bath. Well, we went downstairs. We climbed into her convertible. The guy in the parking lot had to take a walk around the block when she flashed him a smile. I asked her about lunch. She said no. I asked her about dinner. She said something that meant no. It's like that sometimes. The flag's up, the meter's ticking, and you get nowhere. But from a couple of things she told me, I got the idea that she was doing more than help the prince read minds. His place turned out to be a good hour from Los Angeles up 101. A couple of stories of glass and concrete leaning out over the ocean. Inside, a guy in a white turban and some pants that looked like oversized diapers put his hand on a big curved knife he had in his belt. He was wearing tennis shoes.
Right this way, Mr. Regan.
Butcher?
That's Genie, the prince's manservant. He's from India.
I bet the Indians were glad to get rid of him.
Genie's harmless, tongueless, and he doesn't hear. I like you, Mr. Regan. And this is the prince's study.
Come in. Oh, come in.
This is Mr. Regan.
Of course. Welcome, sir. Welcome. The Lion's Eye. I'm honored, sir. Please sit down. That'll be all, Lena?
Of course. I'll be in my office.
Charming girl, Lena.
She handle all your outside contacts?
Except for those matters I must attend to personally. Mr. Regan, I'm in trouble.
It's paid for.
I want you to save my life.
You look healthy.
I am healthy, let me assure you. But my life has been threatened.
They got police department.
I thought you understood. This is a delicate matter. We aren't here to discuss me.
Who's the guy?
It's a lady, Mr. Regan. A very beautiful and lovely creature. And she'd like nothing better than to see my carcass go out with the tide.
How do you know?
She's erratic, ill-tempered, and ruthless.
Any more?
Yes, she called me this morning and told me what she intended to do.
You got a chance to reach for your gun.
To reach for you, Mr. Regan. Now, I feel the entire matter could be settled amicably if you were to call on her and inform her you are my personal bodyguard and that you are here to protect my life.
What makes you figure she'd go for that?
It's worth a try. And besides, I'm paying.
Mm-hmm. Now tell me how long you've been blackmailing her.
Blackmail? What do you mean?
Oh, your racket might last 6 months, a year, but not long enough to build a place like this. The answer's blackmail.
My dear fellow, Okay, so I should have told you.
Give it to me.
Well, I can slip them into a trance. They spill a family secret or two.
What kind of secret?
Any kind. They want their minds read. I read them. $25 a hit.
Where does the shakedown come in?
When I tell them what they told me.
You been putting a squeeze on her?
She's an actress. She was in on a deal at the studios.
And she won't shake.
She said she'd blow my head off. Look, I'm in a spot, Regan. She's the kind who'd do it and make love to the jury.
Give me a name.
Doris Patrick. Ever heard of her?
Where's she live?
Palisades. Here's her address.
All right.
You going over to talk to her now?
Well, she isn't gunning for me.
Oh, thanks a lot, Regan. You know, I've been sweating.
It's real good for a cold.
Yeah, I'll try and catch one.
You guys yell real loud when they answer back.
I'm just thinking of my future, Regan. I won't look good dead.
I left him sitting there scratching his bald head under his turban. He looked unhappy, like somebody fed him a Vaseline sandwich. Well, I climbed in my car, and I followed the highway to the turnoff back to Sunset. The Malibu fog was coming in for the winter, and by the time I got to the address Nemo had given me, I was looking around for my hands. Doris Patrick's place was too big for a marble game and too small for football. There was a wire fence all around it and a sign every 15 or 20 feet or so that said, not to trespass. I parked in the boulevard and walked up the driveway. It was about then that a guy in a blue suit showed up. He was tall and heavy, and he caught a lot of his hat. He pulled down on the brim, blew smoke in my face, and kind of nudged me with his shoulder.
Move on, Pilgrim. We don't want any.
How do you know?
We're waiting for the 49s. Scram, huh?
You aren't even on the list.
All right, we'll wait for the 50s. Blow.
I came to see Doris Patrick.
Yeah, what for?
You her?
Sure. What do you want?
Business.
Shop closed.
You always like this, or you missed lunch today?
Look, I don't know who you are, Pilgrim, but you don't understand English.
Well, I know you. There's something about a guy in a lineup.
Yeah?
He memorizes easy.
Cop?
Private.
Private or city, you all smell the same to me.
Hunting season's over. You always carry a .38, do you?
Oh, that's showing?
Well, maybe you got a broken rib.
Well, I met all kinds of funny guys.
I said I wanted to see her.
Ain't in.
Watchdog?
Now you're getting smart.
Well, you aren't.
What kind of crap is that?
Just this. I'm going in.
Trick I learned a long time ago. You shoot a guy in the knee and he don't ever walk straight again.
Ever done it, punk?
Oh, sure. That's how I learned.
Mm-hmm. That's when I learned, baby. He slumped against the side of the wall, and he looked tired, like he'd been running from Compton. Well, I left him there, and I went up the driveway to the porch. Coming around a blind corner, I bumped into something that kind of relaxed and rolled into me. It was a blonde girl, about 25, in a white polo coat. I was willing to try it again, but she began talking with a voice that was deep enough to go in the oil business.
Oh, I thought you might be running interference, but you look like the whole team.
Whose side are you on, lady?
I keep score.
Doris Patrick?
You're on the right field.
Where's the locker room?
Maybe I like you. Where do you come from?
Right here.
Didn't know we raised your kind anymore. Or did you go wild?
Do I pass?
What'd you say your name was?
Regan.
Welcome.
Mm-hmm. Which highway?
Straight ahead. To the den.
Nice place you got. When's harvest time?
I said welcome.
That isn't what the tall boy said.
Tall boy?
A blue suit with a .38 and a hat.
That'd be Jesse. I was married to him once.
What about now?
Oh, he hangs around like that sometimes. I never see much of him. Trouble?
No, not much.
You got a lot of size, mister. Must have been good. Do that kind of thing often?
Only when I have to.
Sit down. How do you like it? Soda or water?
Your way.
There now. Isn't that better?
I don't know. This is my first drink.
You'll get another. It's a cold day.
Nothing here.
You're quick. Must have a good straight man.
His name's Prince Nemo.
Must we talk about him?
He thinks you're dangerous stuff.
What do you think?
Right now or when I'm a couple of feet away?
Now.
Hey, now look. Remember me? I just got here.
Your name's Regan, and we're going to get along.
Yeah.
It's in the cards.
You got a fast deck.
Go ahead. Deal.
All right. How much time between rounds?
Yes? Who? Oh, just a minute. You know somebody named Lion?
Yeah.
He has quite a roar. Here.
Yeah.
Who's the name? Where's the phone?
Nemo's friend.
Sounds like he's a friend of yours.
All right, you got something to say?
It's all off.
Check bounce?
It was certified. Nemo called 10 minutes ago and canceled the contract.
Now, what happens now?
You finished, come back to office.
Who told you I was here?
The Prince.
It was a quick change.
We got paid.
Well, I already started something.
I don't care what you started. You finish it on your own time. Next bench sheet.
Bad news?
Well, I'm through working for the day. Well, I was an old friend of the family when I left. She didn't want me to go, but I was thinking about Prince Nemo and the way that nothing made sense. Oh, the whole thing looked phony, like an undertaker in a white derby. It didn't take 20/20 vision to see that somebody was getting anxious to make a play. Well, by the time I got home, I figured I was out of it. But my company had other ideas. It was Jesse, and he had friends.
You should lock your door, Regan.
Why? You'd crawl under.
All right, fellas.
Friends?
I just hired him.
You got a parade permit?
Stan, say hello to Regan.
Hello, stupid.
What about Skinny?
Hiya, Grogan.
Name's Regan. He's a detective. Isn't that right? You're pretty good with your women, Regan.
You know, you look lonesome, Jesse. You got something to say?
Stay away from it.
You're shaking. You want a drink?
Already had one. Stan, Skinny, set him on a bed.
Let go.
Oh, Regan, once more. Once more. Stay away from it.
You said that before.
I want to make sure you understand. Stan, Skinny, hold his arms. I've said all the right words. Maybe my punctuation's bad, huh? Lay off. Period. Lay off. Period. Lay off. Period. Okay. Okay, leave him on the bed.
Hey, he rolled off.
Oh, that's fine. Fine. Now he won't have to change his sheets.
Oh, Jesse was good. When I got up, my face looked like a relief map of Pasadena. He was wearing a signet ring. He left out some of the boulevards, but the Rose Bowl was right out in front. I found a drink in the cabinet, and I started for the mirror to see what was left. It was about then I heard a knock on the door. He was a little guy in a cab driver's suit. It figured that he got the job because they ran out of big uniforms. They double-crossed him on that cab. If it wasn't for his ears, he'd have been wearing a snood.
Hiya.
Yeah?
Football?
What do you want?
Your name, Regan.
That's what it says on the mailbox.
I met a friend of yours today.
Get to the point, will you?
A dame named Lee McCara. Yeah, Lee McCara. Some fish.
All right. You're in the register.
Wait, that ain't all. She wants to see you.
What about?
Didn't say. Just said to see if you was home. You home?
Yeah.
I got her down in my cab.
We'll send her up.
I don't think she can make it.
What do you mean?
She looks kind of funny. Maybe you better come down.
She was sitting on the edge of the seat, staring out at nothing. Her back was as stiff as a filing cabinet, and there was a little ring of white around her lips. I paid off the cabbie, and I took her back up to my place without a word. When we closed the door, she was sitting on my sofa the same way. Only this time she had a .25 automatic in her hand.
Well?
Where'd you get the gun, lady?
Gun? Oh, this? I bought it for $30.
Can I see it?
Oh, yes, Mr. Regan. I brought it so I could show it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $30 for it. $30 for it.
Yep. Brand new, isn't it?
Oh, yes, of course. Did you know Prince Nemo was my husband?
Since when?
Long time now. Not many people know that.
Did you come here to tell me that?
No. No, I came to tell you that you don't have to worry anymore.
About what?
About what my husband hired you for?
Well, I've already been called off.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you meet Doris Patrick?
Yeah?
Then it was about her.
What do you want, lady?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Just that we don't have to worry anymore, do we?
Tell me about the gun.
Doris is very pretty, don't you think? I've seen her on the screen many times. And she's quite pretty. Could hardly blame the prince at all. Could hardly.
Why'd you bring the gun?
I imagine the air would be cleaner there, don't you?
What are you talking about?
Really very humane, they tell me.
Come on, stop it.
Just like sitting down and never waking up. I read all about it. Just walk in and sit down. You don't try to hold your breath.
Stop it, sis. Stop it. Now, listen to me. What is it? What have you done? What are you trying to say?
You don't try to hold your breath. You go right to sleep, don't you?
You're trying to tell me that you killed him?
They don't make such a great deal of noise, do they? He left him sitting there in his house by the sea. He looked very much alive, only... He isn't alive at all. Tell me, Mr. Regan, tell me. Do I make a good murderer? Do I?
screaming, she settled down to a slow, even kind of giggle that started somewhere around her shoelaces and didn't get past her knees. Gave me a feeling like somebody was unwrapping an atomic bomb under a Christmas tree. Well, she wasn't going to do any more talking, so I went downstairs and brought back a doctor friend of mine named Sammy Wing. He had his little black bag with him, and he gave her a shot of something. She wilted like last night's orchid and went to sleep. Sammy wrote down a couple of things, and then he looked up at me.
Some playmate. Wish I'd have been here for the party.
How is she, Sam?
You know her better than me.
Oh, is she going to be all right?
In 4 or 5 hours, she'll wake up and want some water.
And then what?
She might ask you what happened, or it might start all over again. By the way, what was it?
I don't know. She came over to see me.
I should have visitors like this. I've been working too hard.
She said she killed a guy who was a client of mine.
Maybe I'm lucky at that. Why the past tense?
The Lion called me off the case.
Official, huh?
Yeah.
You've got nobody to protect. Where's the corpse?
At a house in Ocean Town.
Here, call the police. And you and me can go out and do our Christmas shopping.
Oh, she said she used this gun.
A .25, it killed people.
No, Sammy, there's a bullet jammed in the chamber.
Dames don't know how to reload.
It hasn't been fired.
Ballistics got better ways of telling. She's pretty and she's nice, and I'll bet she looks like $1 million in a bathing suit. But if I'd have met her within the last 3 hours, I'd have run for help.
Is that professional?
Acute hysteria. The kind that pops off guns and people and does a lot of things they can't remember later on. Call Sanducci.
Look, it doesn't figure she'd do it with this.
Maybe she had another one. While you're at it, call the coroner. Tell him to go out there with some DOA forms.
No, I'm going first.
Corpse hunt?
Just an idea.
Labruccioli had an idea.
Yeah.
This dame's dipped somebody, and she's told you her story.
Well, I don't like it.
What do they do when a private eye messes up an open and shut murder case?
Sammy, stay with her, will you? There's some bourbon out in the kitchen.
Maybe both of us will get our pictures in the papers.
I left him sitting there. He looked sad, like a water buffalo caught in a drought. I pushed through the fog for about 40 minutes, and I pulled up in front of Nemo's place in Ocean Town about 9:30. It was dark enough to give a ghost the creeps. I used that ring of keys that I'd taken from her purse, and I went inside. It smelled dry and still, like somebody was waiting for the world to fall apart. I clicked on my flash, and I walked down the long hall to his office. Well, he was there, just like she said. There were 3 holes in the front of his shirt, close range, but it wasn't the laundry's fault. He'd been dead maybe 2 hours. The desk drawer showed some canceled checks made out to Doris Patrick. While I was thinking that over, I spotted a .38 Smith & Wesson on the floor by his hand. Lynn had been carrying a .25. I broke it, and 3 cartridges fell out. From the looks of the holes in his chest, the .38 was the gun for the job. Well, that made her story and the .25 a fairy tale. While I was kneeling there, a light went on behind me. A fat man wearing a sheriff's star was standing with a switch. A tall leather jacket with a flashlight in his hand was in front of me. I began to feel helpless, like a trombone player with a short arm.
Scavenger hunt, son? You don't talk, Charlie.
Ain't much for him to say, is there, Cap?
Yes, not. Well, son?
You're going to be calling me names.
What do you like best? Killer, murderer, slayer? Papers use slayer a lot.
I don't like any of them.
Kind of breezy for a hot boy, ain't you?
You might give me a name.
Regan. I'm with the International Detective Bureau.
It's Regan, Cap. He's with the International Detective Bureau.
Got a card or something, son?
Yeah. Here.
This guy here, a friend of yours?
My client, Lawrence.
What'd you do for him? Okay, tell me this. Why'd you plug him?
There's another story.
Any good?
Better than the one you got.
You'll have a hard time selling it.
It's a fix.
Oh, why you want to say a thing like that?
How long you been on the force?
Easy, Regan. Me and Cap's being nice.
Phone call a little while ago. Funny kind of voice. Said we'd find a stiff here. We didn't say we'd find you.
Yeah, you're extra.
The dame who worked for him told me.
You tell homicide?
No.
That was a mistake. Where's this girl now? Name? Charlie, call a coroner. Ocean Town is just a small place. Only me and Charlie around. We borrow from the county when we get something like this.
Well, I can find you a real answer in an hour.
You got ideas?
Lots of them.
You can tell me all about them later. We got a corpse, we got a suspect. You know that's good. Even a weapon.
I'll have an alibi when you check the time of death.
We'll worry about that later on. All right, son, let's go.
about as much chance as an elephant in a tea room if those two locked me and booked me. I leaned back into his gun, spun around, knocked his wrist down. He pulled the trigger. But I'd already hit the light switch, and he was making rockets in the dark. I left my car there and cut across the highway and doubled back up the hill. They spread out in the wrong direction. An hour later, I was standing in front of the Lion's door. He was wrapped in a bathrobe big enough to keep all the silkworms working overtime.
What do you want, Regan?
Information.
You been drinking?
I've been working.
That Lena Harris here?
You sent her.
She called me and said she wanted to hire you for something else.
After Nemo canceled the contract.
Yeah, why?
You gave her my address.
I thought you ought to talk to her. What she want?
She told me that she killed the prince.
She can't do that. We got a contract.
Well, it's already been done.
We're in a spot.
Yeah, I figured that'd get through to you.
They'll be asking me all kinds of questions.
Well, why didn't you think of that before you signed?
What are we going to do?
You're going to find out where this 25 came from and if anybody fired it.
Huh?
She was carrying it when she came to me.
I don't want to get involved.
Well, you're in it up to your ears. I went out there and found the prince. Only a 38 might have done the job.
Yeah? Well, that cleans her up.
Not yet. The Oceantown sheriff and a guy named Charlie are looking for me.
What for?
They think I know something.
Do you?
Not yet. There was a tip-off. Somebody was supposed to be a patsy.
Where's Kara now?
My place with Sammy Wing.
I'm going to get a lawyer. It'll look good.
All right, give me the keys to your car.
Why?
I got a date.
Find out who fogged Nemo when we won the championship.
Yeah. You'll have to give the cup back. You cheated. I drove back out to Doris Patrick's place in the Palisades, and I rang the bell and waited. Took her a while, but she showed. She was wearing a filmy kind of a thing that made a spider's web look like canvas. I began to feel warm, like a sun lamp on a picture set.
We had a date at 9 o'clock.
I broke my watch.
Come in, I'll see if I can fix it. I'm great with a swift movement.
Yeah, it shows.
We were going to look at the stars together.
How long you been here?
Well, I gave you up at 10. Tell me, how do you like my new dress?
It's the right color, but the wrong cut for a funeral.
I haven't read the obituaries today.
No, it'll be in tomorrow's paper.
Have a drink and let's wait for tomorrow.
Your friend Nemo was killed tonight.
He was no friend of mine. I told you that.
So did he.
He fall off his house?
Murdered.
We've been having fun up to now.
You know, you'll be first guess.
I don't think I like that.
He tried to blackmail you.
The story's backwards.
Well, that's the way it comes out.
Not quite.
You got another way?
He never tried to blackmail me.
Mm-hmm.
I blackmailed him.
How?
I went to him one day and put him in a trance. Only I used scotch. I found out what he was doing and how he was doing it, so I turned the tables. It was good, clean fun, but expensive for him.
Well, now, if he was your meal ticket, then you have an alibi, huh?
Could be canceled check somewhere.
Right where I could find him.
I'm telling you the truth.
Where does Jesse fit?
Oh, I told you we were married once. He's jealous.
Did he know about Nemo?
Maybe.
He was watchdog when I came out.
I told you. Jesse.
Hello, gorgeous. I still have a key.
What do you want?
You?
Get out.
You still trapping with this trap?
Just in time, Jesse.
You know, you didn't list good. I told you to lay off.
Where's your friend?
Paid off. I'm handling this alone.
We've been finished for a long time.
We're starting up again, Angel. Or didn't you know Nemo was dead?
I saw your 38 tonight, Jesse.
Ah, you're wrong. It's her 38. It's got her prints in it.
What do you mean?
I put him there. And you're going to be tagged for his murder, Angel. You see, you're sort of in a spot.
Regan.
Easy, baby. This punk never did anything right.
Huh? Tell me how wrong I've been.
All right. That tip to the Oceantown cops was wrong. Killing Nemo was wrong.
Ah, you're twisted, Pilgrim. Cops got a warrant out for you right now. Yeah, I heard on the car radio. Murder suspect. Plugging you is something they'll thank me for.
With her prints on the gun?
Well, how was I to know? I just see you and plug you. Everybody will be sorry, but it'll be manslaughter and suspended. It's pretty right, isn't it?
Well, what about me?
A friend of mine shoving off at Pedro tonight, Angel. Going all over the world. We'd be together. Well, Angel, do I plug it and meet you somewhere in 2 weeks, huh? Move over, Regan. The lady's making up her mind. Now, what do you like?
Oh, it was a real photo finish. Just as Jesse set the gun up against my head, Doris pulled a gun from the desk drawer and threw a couple of fast ones into him. Jesse tried for her. I'd call it a dead heat, but you'd have to give Doris the edge. Her first slug cut him down like a blade of grass, but she didn't give up. Well, he's all you. used up.
Never shot anyone before.
You look like a professional. Give me the gun.
He deserved to die. Didn't he? Didn't he?
I don't know, lady. You knew him better. Well, it all unwound like red thread in a Levi factory. Nemo told me his phony story so he'd have a good self-defense angle when he finally got around to killing Doris Patrick some afternoon. Jesse worked for him to keep me out, but I bounced him and got inside. When Jesse phoned Nemo about it, Nemo called the Lion and had me jerked before we could compare notes. I guess Jesse went kind of crazy when he saw how well we got along. He got an idea and killed Nemo and made Doris a patsy with those fingerprints. Lena Cara? Well, she went kind of crazy, too. She found Nemo dead and got the idea she did it. It took 3 doctors a couple of days to tell her what really happened. And the Lion was mad when he found out there wasn't any money in it. But then when he saw Doris Patrick's picture in the paper, he got kind of curious. He asked just one question. What did I do all that afternoon I was out in her house? Well, I didn't even bother to answer him.
Jack Webb is featured as Jeff Regan with Herb Butterfield as Anthony J. Lyon. The story of the man who lived by the sea returns tonight by special request and was written by E. Jack Newman, produced by Sterling Tracy. In tonight's cast, the role of Doris Patrick was played by Yvonne Patey. Also heard Sidney Miller, Peggy Weber, Paul Frees, Marvin Miller, and Barry Crozier. Music for this program is by Milton Charles.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the burglary detail. A jewelry store has been robbed. Merchandise amounting to $5,000 has been stolen. The thief made good his escape. Your job? Find him.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Sunday, September 8th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. My name's Friday. We were on our way out to the scene, and it was 10:18 a.m. when we got to 6247 28th Street, the jewelry store.
I'll be right there.
Yes, sir?
It's not a very big place.
Probably more room behind that partition there.
Yeah. I'm coming. You the police?
Yes, sir, that's right. This is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
I'm glad to meet you.
How you doing, sir?
My name's Hemp, Ray Hemp. This is my store.
Yes, sir.
Sorry I kept you waiting. I was back in the kitchen making some tea. I was a little nervous, you know. Thought it might help.
Mm-hmm.
You gentlemen care for some?
No, sir.
No, thanks, sir.
When did you discover the theft?
Well, I got back to the store about 40 minutes ago. Saw what had happened, and I called the police right away.
Is everything like you found it?
Yes, sir.
These cases open?
That's right. I haven't touched anything in here. Didn't want a chance messing anything up.
Yes, sir.
Didn't leave very much, huh?
A couple of watch bands is about all. Really cleaned out the place.
Now, about the watches, what kind were they?
Mostly wrist models. A couple of pocket size.
Uh-huh.
All different brands, but I just got a bunch of long jeans in. Took every one of them.
Yes, sir.
Cleaned me out.
Can you tell us how they got into the store?
Yes. I'll show you how they chopped a hole right through the wall.
All right, sir.
Right through the wall. In the back. Came right through. You can see there. Goes right into the storeroom of the barber shop next door. Sure made a mess of the place. Plaster all over the floor.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much ruined the wall, too.
Yeah.
Wanted to make sure they'd have enough room. See, the hole must be about 2 feet across, Joe.
You can see there, right into the storeroom.
Yes, sir.
I'd better check over there, huh?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. The back door to the barber shop is open. Before you officers arrived, I checked out in the alley and I saw it wide open. I guess that's how they got in.
Who owns the barber shop, Mr. Hemp?
Ed Justin had the place over 15 years.
You know where he lives?
Yes, he isn't home, though. As soon as I saw that hole, I tried to call him.
You can give us his address and phone number, can you?
Yes.
We'll want to talk to him.
I've got one of his cards up front.
All right, sir. We'll check next door.
Look at that hole. Must be a good 3 feet across, wouldn't you say?
Yes, sir.
Here, let me get that door for you. Look at that.
What's that?
Size of that door. Heavy, double lock. Burglar alarm system out in front. On the skylight up there. Doesn't stop him.
Yes, sir. Well, we'll check next door.
He seems like kind of a nice little guy, huh?
Yeah.
Wonder why the thief didn't close the door when he finished.
Probably nothing left to steal.
Yeah.
Take a look at the door here. Doesn't look like it was forced.
Well, Justin might have left it unlocked. Boy, they sure made a mess in here, too.
Yeah, looks like they had a head start.
Huh. The place must use a lot of hair oil.
Yeah, only that's liquid soap there.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't look like there's any tools around.
No.
How you doing?
Take a look.
Want to find something?
Come here.
What?
In the dust here. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Impressions?
Huh. Looks like a stocking foot, huh?
Yeah.
Well, the guy must have worked with his shoes off.
That's the way I'd call it. You notice right here?
What?
In the middle of the print? The stain?
Yeah, looks like it could be blood.
Possibly might have cut his foot. What do you think?
Uh-huh.
Well, let's call the crime lab. Have them send a crew out to go over both places. Huh?
Yeah. Joe?
Yeah.
Take a look at the skylight up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's broken. You better check the roof, huh?
All right.
Sure looks like hair, Tommy.
Yeah, it's green.
Yeah. There's the drain pipe there. Might have used that to get up.
Mm-hmm. We'll have the crew check it. Let's go back in.
Yeah. Mr. Hemp?
Yes? Find out anything?
Well, we're not sure yet, sir. I wonder if you could tell us, is there some way to get to the roof of the building here?
Oh, yes. Come on, I'll show you. There. You see? Up in the corner. Trap door.
Mm-hmm.
Hinged. Swings right up. It's been a while since I've used it.
You have something we can use to get up there?
Mm-hmm. I've got a ladder. I'll get it.
All right, sir. You want me to give you a hand with that?
Oh, I can get it.
All right. Here, you better let me help you with that.
I'll swing my end over, and you can walk it right up under the trap door.
All right, be careful now. All right.
How's that?
That's fine. That'll get it. Want to steady the ladder, Frank?
Yeah. Can you get it?
No, this bolt's stuck. Just a minute.
It's probably rusty. I told you I didn't use it very often.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's got it.
Good.
Okay, now, hang on, will you, while I boost myself up?
I got it.
Okay. All right. You want to come up, Frank?
Yeah.
All right, let me give you a hand.
Yeah. Wait till I get my foot on the ledge.
All right, come on. Okay. You got to lose some weight. Let's take a look at that skylight, huh?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we didn't hit this tar roof at noon.
Well, it's still plenty warm.
Hey, you can see all of Hemp's place through this one.
Mm-hmm. Good spot to case it from, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's check that broken skylight.
Yeah. Take a look.
Yeah, more smears.
Well, not much doubt about these.
Looks like blood, all right, doesn't it?
Yeah. Maybe they did case the stores from here.
Uh-huh. Could have cut his foot on a piece of glass, couldn't he?
Figures. Still not much to go on.
No.
It'd take a pretty big cut to make these smears.
Well, that'd be something in our favor.
How do you mean?
It won't heal overnight. The crime lab crew arrived and started their investigation. Photographs were taken of the interiors of both stores, and samples of the plaster and lath materials were held as evidence. Latent fingerprints went over both the jewelry store and the barber shop. Frank and I checked with the people in the neighborhood, but none of them could recall seeing any automobiles or strangers loitering in the vicinity. At 7:20 p.m., the barber, Ed Justin, returned. We questioned him. He said he didn't recall locking the back door to the shop, and he said it was more than possible that he did leave it open. We got a complete list of the stolen merchandise from Ray Hemp, along with the case and movement numbers of the watches. These were distributed to pawn shops throughout the city. Frank and I went back to the city hall and had the stats office start a run on the M.O. used in the burglary. 9:47 p.m., Lieutenant Lee Jones from the crime lab called to say that they'd finished their examination of the physical evidence. He told us that the stains we'd found were blood and that he'd have the grouping test finished for us in the morning. He went on to say that the suspect should have particles of plaster dust and other debris in his clothing. Also, if we were able to find the socks that the thief had worn, the pattern of the material would identify them. At 10:15 p.m., Frank and I finished the log and we checked out of the office. The next morning, we started to run down the list that the stats office had furnished us. It took 2 full days to question all of the men named. At the end of that time, we had what we'd started with, nothing. We talked to informants. None of them could tell us anything. Wednesday, 11:40 a.m., Frank and I checked into the office. Guess I better check the book, huh?
Yeah. What you got?
A call from Lucarelli over at Narcotics.
Yeah.
Says they picked up a guy this morning. Luke talked to him and figured maybe we'd want to see him.
You say why?
Well, he didn't spell it out. He saw our teletype on the jewelry store thing.
Yeah.
It's about some watches. We put in a call to Sergeant Roxy Lucarelli at Narcotics Division. 5 minutes later, the suspect was brought to our office. He was identified as Frederick Gabriel Garth. He had a record listing several arrests for burglary and narcotics. He'd served 1 term at the county jail on the narcotics charge. He was brought into the interrogation room where Frank and I questioned him.
What are you giving me trouble for? I'm clean. They found nothing on me.
Is that so?
Sure, the marks are old. Been a long time since I had a fix.
Uh-huh.
Well, what do you want from me?
Information?
On what?
You've been around a while, haven't you, Garth?
Sure, I'm a native son.
And you must have a lot of friends.
A couple.
Any of them selling wristwatches?
What do you mean?
Well, you don't need a drawing for this now. Any of your friends selling watches cheap?
No.
You sure about that?
What are you trying to build?
Well, the way it came to us, you can steer us to a cheap watch.
Well, you got it all wrong. I don't even own a watch. If I could buy one cheap, I'd have one.
Is that right?
Well, sure. I always wanted a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You know anybody who can lead us to a good buy?
Well, what's in it for me?
What do you got now?
Nothing.
Well, you're going to leave the same way.
Well, no reason for me to give you a hand, then, is there?
Then put it down that we're going to have you in here again. The way you act now will go on the books.
How about it, Garth?
Who's going to know?
You, Smith, and me.
For real?
Won't do us any good to spread it around town, will it?
Okay, I met a guy last night. Showed me a watch he bought for $5.
What'd it look like?
Gold. Pretty good watch.
Fellow friend of yours?
I know him, that's all.
You got a name?
Yeah, Victor Gordon.
Where'd you see him?
Hot dog stand.
Well, where's that?
Out on Western.
Western's a long street.
Corner of St. Andrews.
What's this Gordon do for a living?
I don't know. I just see him around the hot dog stand once in a while.
You live around there?
Yeah, I got a room near 39th and Western. I don't know the number. It's a big green place. Got those kind of plastic shingles on the roof. Red ones.
Mm-hmm. You show it to us?
Yeah, a friend of mine has a car. We drove him home a couple of times.
Did you get a good look at the watch last night?
Yeah.
What kind was it?
Longines.
You're pretty sure about that, are you?
Sure. I looked at it pretty good. He took it off his wrist. Asked me if I thought it was worth $5.
Uh-huh.
Well, I told him it was. At least I'd pay that for it. It's a real beauty.
All right. Can you give us a description of this Gordon fellow?
Yeah.
We want you to show us where he lives.
Well, I've ridden this far. No reason to get off now.
You got any more on him?
You're going to find out anyway.
Yeah?
This Gordon?
Uh-huh.
He's an ex-convict.
We checked the name and description of Victor Gordon through R&I. We found that he'd served 1 term for armed robbery in an eastern penitentiary and was not on parole at the time. A check of the ex-convict registration gave us his present address. We also found that he was employed at the Belden Aircraft Corporation in San Fernando. We took Fred Garth out to the address on Western Avenue to verify it for us. He pointed out the house and asked that we drop him off near a streetcar line. After that, Frank and I returned to the rooming house, and we went up to the 3rd floor. We knocked on the door to Gordon's room, and he asked us in.
I know what you're climbing on me for. Wild questions.
You ask him to get answers, don't you? We'd like a few.
Look, you tell me what all this is about, and maybe it'll shake up my memory.
All right, the way we heard it, you were wearing a new watch last night.
Well, you got it wrong.
That's so.
Yeah, I haven't got a watch.
We got it different.
Look here. You see one? If I had a watch, I'd be wearing it, wouldn't I?
You had one last night, mister.
Oh, you're crazy. I haven't got a watch.
We are different.
Somebody lied to you. I showed you I'm not wearing one.
You don't mind if we look around the place?
Go ahead. You won't find anything.
All right.
I'll check the closet, Jim.
Okay.
When you're wasting your time, you're not going to find anything.
Well, then you haven't got anything to worry about, have you?
Go ahead and mess up my room. Tear it apart. You're not going to find anything.
Why don't you just simmer down there?
I just don't want to have to put all that stuff back.
Go.
Yeah. What do you got?
Take a look. Found it in one of the shoes there.
38 Colt.
Yeah.
How about it? You satisfied now?
This gun yours, Gordon?
Never saw it before.
Found it in your closet.
It isn't mine.
Won't hold. You want to tell us about it?
All right, so you found a gun. Is something wrong?
You got a short memory, haven't you?
Maybe I got it wrong. I thought you guys were looking for a watch.
There's a law that says an ex-con can't have a gun. You ought to know that. How about it, Gordon? All right, get your coat.
Want to take me downtown?
You called it.
What charge?
We'll let you know when we write it up.
It's a bad beat.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, it is. I don't know what you're after, but I had no piece of it.
You want to get the watch?
It's in the medicine cabinet in the bathroom.
All right, you sit still. I'll get it.
I bought it. I paid $5.
We'll get to that. How about it, Joe?
Yeah. You got a pen there?
Yeah, give it here all over.
All right. You want to give me the number? I'll check it against the list.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah. Kind of hard to see. 1, 6, 7, 5, 8. I think the next one's a 9.
Let me see then. Yeah, that's a 9.
Is it on the list?
Wait a minute.
Look, I didn't steal it. I was wrong about the gun, but I didn't steal the watch.
Look, just sit still. How about it?
No, it's not here. Wait a minute. Try the other side. Mm-hmm. Gordon, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I know. The gun.
No, that's only half of it, this watch.
Yeah?
It's listed as stolen.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
The suspect was taken downtown and questioned. He continued to deny any part in the theft. We put in a call to the place where he worked, and we verified that he'd been there on the night of the burglary. After a half hour of questioning, Victor Gordon told us about the man he'd bought the watch from. He said he didn't know his full name, that he knew him only as Kermit. He went on to say that his girlfriend had been with him when he bought the watch and could verify the story. We contacted the girl, Celia Kirk, and we talked to her. She told us the same story we'd gotten from Gordon. She volunteered the information that Kermit lived in the 3800 block on Gramercy Place. She also told us that his girlfriend lived in the 2900 block on 9th Avenue. We got a complete description of the man, and we checked it through R&I. We came up with a package for a Kermit J. Wayne. When the mugshot was shown to Gordon and Celia Kirk, we got a positive identification. Wayne's arrest record went back to the time he was 15. He was listed as an expert safe burglar and had used a tunneling M.O. on several occasions. Gordon was booked in at the main jail on a charge of violation of the Dangerous Weapons Control Law of 1923, Section 2. 5:40 p.m. Frank and I left the office and drove out to the address on Gramercy Place. Wayne lived on the second floor rear. He wasn't there. In the company of the landlord, we went through his room.
Pretty dirty.
If you want to check the dresser, I'll get the trunk.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, look. I guess everybody's got this calendar, huh?
Yeah, it's real popular.
Good. Hey, look at this.
You turn something?
Yeah? Drawer full of dirty T-shirts.
You gotta put them someplace.
Oh. I have gloves for this job. How you doing with the trunk?
There's nothing much in it. More of those calendars. Wayne must be a fine arts patron.
Dirty shirts in this one.
I don't know. Maybe the guy hasn't heard of laundries. What do you think? Well, the trunk checks out.
Well, how do you like that? I should have known.
Hmm?
Dirty socks, whole drawer full of them.
Well, he's neat anyhow.
Huh?
I'll check the closet. A lot of hangers, not many clothes.
Maybe the guy's broke, but that's no reason to be so dirty. How about that bundle there?
I haven't looked at it yet. Wait a minute.
It might be his clean shirt.
No, pair of pants.
Figures. They're dirty, too.
Wait a minute. Something in the pocket here. Pair of socks.
That makes you wrong.
What?
If he was so neat, they'd be with the others.
Well, maybe he had a reason for keeping them here.
Why?
Take a look.
He had a reason.
Blood on this one. We checked out the rest of Wayne's room, but we turned up nothing to further tie him in with the burglary. We got a description of his car from the landlord, and before we left, we made arrangements for a stakeout to be set up on his room. We took the pair of pants and the blood-stained socks down to the crime lab for examination. 8:20 p.m. Frank and I drove over to 9th Street to try to find Kermit Wayne's girlfriend. We checked the 2900 block, and we found a car that matched the description of the one owned by the suspect. We checked the white slip and found the car was registered to Wayne. Frank pulled 2 of the leads to the spark plugs, and we went back to our car to wait for Wayne to show up. The night dragged on. 4:29 a.m.
It's been almost 8 hours.
Yeah. Something had happened, don't you?
Put in with you. Joe? You ever notice around the city all the clocks that are stopped?
No, I can't say that I have.
You know, on business places, storefronts, walls, all over.
Well, what brought that on?
Oh, I was just thinking a little while ago. You know, some smart fella did a lot of work fixing them. All the clocks that don't run.
Mm-hmm.
They're only right 2 times a day.
What?
Clocks that are broke. Twice a day they're right. How'd you like to be right only twice a day?
Some fellas would be all right.
Like who?
Guys that bet on the horses.
Oh, yeah, probably would. Never thought of that. Wouldn't be so good if you worked in a chicken hatchery, though.
Where?
Chicken hatchery.
What do you mean?
Well, those guys up there that look at baby chicks are a day or so old and they tell what they're going to be. You know, men and women.
What?
Well, they're going to be roosters or hens.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good money in it.
Well, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, but you got to be right. None of this twice-a-day stuff. You know, say a guy bought 100 little baby chicks expecting to get, 98 hens and 2 roosters. And he finds out he got just the opposite, 98 roosters and 2 hens. How do you think he'd feel?
Disappointed?
You bet he would. That guy'd be looking for a new job, too.
Yeah, well, maybe he could fix those clocks, huh?
Well, sure be a lot of money in it for somebody, huh?
Across the street?
Yeah. That's him.
Talking to somebody inside there.
I can't see him too good. Not the right height, though.
Yeah. It's coming this way now. Notice the walk? Checks out all the way.
Yeah. It's him.
All right, wait till he gets in the car. Yeah, let's go. Right. Hey, fella. You Kermit Wayne?
Hey, what is this?
Police officers. Are you Kermit Wayne?
Yeah, what?
Get out of the car. Come on. Keep those hands where we can see them.
Why do you want to talk to me?
Come on, get out. Just put it down the way you walk, huh?
This don't make sense.
It does to us.
What do you mean?
You're limp. The suspect was taken down to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. An examination showed that he had a bad cut on his right foot. We contacted the office, and another team of men were sent out to the apartment of Wayne's girlfriend to go over the place. Frank and I took the suspect back to the office. 8:25 a.m.
Don't guess we can expect much from Wayne's girlfriend if she's anything like him.
No, he's a clam, that's for sure. We're going to need something strong to open him up.
Friday?
Yeah, Mac. How'd you do out there?
Think maybe we got something for you.
Yeah.
Where is the guy?
The next office.
Here.
You taking a trip, Mac?
Suitcases for you. Watches, rings. Wayne's girlfriend didn't know it, but she was in the jewelry business.
Look at this. All Longines. How about serial numbers?
Haven't checked them yet. As soon as we found this, we came right over.
All right. We'll run them. Do you have any trouble?
No, really. She was pretty cooperative. Didn't see what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
We told her Wayne was in custody, gave her a big story. Tells easier than it was.
How'd you locate the stuff?
When we told her about Wayne, she remembered the suitcase he wanted her to keep for him.
Mm-hmm.
He told her it was some war souvenirs. Didn't like to leave them in his room.
Mm-hmm.
Real surprised when she saw the contents. Then she got mad. Said he'd always promised to buy her a good watch. Never had.
Well, you can start looking for a new Santa Claus, huh?
Yeah.
Wayne won't be shopping for some time. We checked the serial numbers on the watches, and we found that they were the ones taken in the burglary of the jewelry store. All of the other merchandise matched the description that we'd gotten from Ray Hemp. 9:18 a.m.
All right, you want to tell us how you cut your foot?
I'm giving you nothing.
You did it on the skylight over the barber shop, didn't you?
You tell me. I don't know. Maybe I cut at the beach.
No, we don't think so.
I want to see a lawyer. I'll talk to him, but I got nothing for you guys.
All right, we got something here we want you to see, Wayne.
How about it, Wayne? Look familiar?
Who you kidding? Bunch of watches. I've seen watches before. Who hasn't?
Well, these are a little different. Look at the suitcase. Does that ring any bells?
Don't mean nothing to me. You guys are trying to trap me. I know how you are. Won't work this time. I learned all about you cops a long time ago.
I get it. Burglary Friday. Yeah, right. Both of them, huh? Oh, good. Okay. We'll check with you. Want to give us a story now, Wayne?
I'll talk to a lawyer.
That phone call there. It just called the third strike on you, mister.
More blood.
All right, I'll give it to you straight. When you went into that jewelry store, you cut your foot. You left blood smears all over the place.
You gotta stay away from comic
We
books.
got pictures of the smears. Our crime lab matched them up with a pair of socks that we found in your room. The pants we found are loaded with debris that you picked up when you went through that wall. So we can prove it came from the same place. Sound like we're bluffing?
You want to tell us about it now?
Don't think you're so smart, you ain't. You just got the breaks, that's all, just the breaks.
That's so.
Yeah, you cops ain't smart. I learned it real young. Once in a while, the breaks fall on your side.
Something else you should have learned real young. You wouldn't be worrying about the breaks now.
What's that?
The 8th commandment.
The story you've just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
Kermit J. Wayne was tried and convicted of burglary in the first degree. Victor Cavell Gordon was found guilty of violation of the Dangerous Weapons Control Act and received sentence as prescribed by law. Burglary in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 5 years. Violation of the Dangerous Weapons Control Act is punishable by imprisonment in the county jail for a period of not more than 1 year, or a fine of $500, or both such fine and imprisonment.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the homicide detail. A young man walks into your office and tells you he wants to give himself up. You don't know if you can believe his story. Your job? Check it out.
It was Monday, December 10th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Lorman. My name's Friday. We were on our way back from records and identification, and it was 11:15 a.m. when we got to room 42, the squad room.
Joe?
Yeah, Danny.
Kid waiting to see you.
Did he say what he wanted?
No, said he wanted to talk to you, nobody else.
Did he give a name?
No, nice-looking kid.
All right, we'll talk to him.
Be right with it, Joe. I'll check the book.
All right. All right, you want to see me?
You Sergeant Friday?
That's right. What can I do for you?
I want to talk to you.
Nothing in the book, Joe.
What's your name, sir?
Emil Salter.
Emil, this is my partner, Frank Smith.
Hello, Mr. Smith.
Hi, sir.
Why'd you ask for me?
Well, they told me to.
Who's that?
The men in that room across the hall, the business office.
I see.
I sure hope you can help me, Sergeant Friday. I'm in trouble. Real bad.
All right. So I'll sit down here and you can tell us about it. Go ahead.
Well, one thing, you should know I came in to give myself up.
Is that right?
I didn't mean to do wrong.
All right, what'd you do?
killed a man.
Emil Charles Salter was 18 years old, 5 feet 7 1/2, 137 pounds. He had light blonde hair and blue eyes. He was wearing a tan windbreaker and tan pants. He looked tired, and he told us that he hadn't eaten in several hours. We sent out for some hot coffee and sandwiches. Frank checked his name and description through R&I, but he found that he had no record in our files. We asked him to tell us the story.
Do you know the man you killed?
No, I never saw him before.
Well, how'd you kill him?
Ran him down.
In a car?
No, a truck.
Well, where'd this happen?
Coast Highway near Malibu. Just this side.
When?
Last night. I guess it must have been around 10. It should have been around then because I left town at 8:30. It took about an hour and a half to drive up there.
Now, you sure the man was dead?
Yeah, I looked at him. It wasn't hard to tell.
Did you try to help him at all?
No. As soon as I looked at him, I knew there wasn't anything I could do. I just got back in the truck and took off.
Where's the truck now?
I left it. Just the other side of Malibu. It broke down, so I left it.
Mm-hmm.
When it stopped, I sat there for a while. Tried to think why I was hung up in something like this. Tried to figure why. Didn't come, so I got out and started to walk.
Uh-huh.
All the time I was thinking about the man. I could almost see him. Guess it got to me, so I came back, caught a ride, and came back.
Hey, Joe, here's the food.
Oh, thanks, Danny. What do we owe you?
Total $1.60.
Wait a minute. You got 15 cents, Frank?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, here, Danny.
Thanks. A couple cartons in there, Black.
Right, thank you. All right, here, Emil. Help yourself.
Thank you. Sure hungry. I haven't had anything to eat since last night.
Mm-hmm. You want to tell us about the truck?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?
I stole it. That's wrong, too, I know. Everything I do seems to be wrong.
Where'd you take it from, son?
Parking lot near where I used to live.
Where's that?
A rooming house on 9th Street near Figueroa.
Can you show us where the truck is now?
I guess so. I don't think anybody could move it. Broke down, like I said.
Where you from, Emil?
Waukesha, Wisconsin. It's a small city near Milwaukee. Maybe you've heard of it.
No, I can't say I have.
Got good water. Springs and wells. Real fine. Manufacture things, too. Motors, jacks, lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
Sure is a nice little place.
How come you left there?
Lots of reasons.
In trouble?
Yeah. In a way, nothing serious. It was lots of things. You know, at home. I don't know just how to say it.
You ever been arrested?
No. Well, not booked or anything. Cops took me in a couple of times.
What for?
Little things. Like one night we broke in a church. Didn't go in to steal anything. One of the guys just wanted to play the organ.
Mm-hmm. Your parents alive?
Yeah.
When'd you leave home?
Last July. I thought about it for a long time. Figured I might have a better chance where nobody knew me. Looks like it didn't make any difference.
When did you get here?
Last part of July. Sure was different than Waukesha.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's so big. Then I didn't know anyone. Pretty lonesome at first. But then I got lucky.
Yeah?
I got this job. Nothing important. Just washing dishes at this cafe. I get $25 a week in food.
Yeah.
Got a little money ahead. Bought some clothes. Not real fancy, but they were new and they give me a lift. You know.
Sure.
Had a nice room, too. Clean, handy to work. Thought I had it made. Then the axe fell.
What do you mean?
I got sick. Couldn't get out of bed one morning. The landlord called a doctor. He said I had rheumatic fever.
Yeah?
The doctor called for an ambulance, and they took me to General Hospital.
Uh-huh.
Things are bad enough when you feel good. I was in the hospital, and I didn't feel like nothing.
You remember the doctor's name?
No, sir, I don't.
How long were you in the hospital?
3 days.
They discharged you in 3 days, did they?
No, sir, I ran away.
Why?
Well, the Travelers' Aid Society said that they were going to send me back home. I didn't want that, so I ducked out.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to my room. I got a couple of bucks I had hid and left.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have any idea what I was going to do, but I didn't want to be sent back to Wisconsin.
That's when you stole the truck, huh?
Yeah, it looked like a way out of town.
Uh-huh.
The whole thing doesn't seem like it really happened. You know how when you're half asleep and the radio's on, the things come through, but they're not real clear.
Yeah.
Like that. I remember riding in the truck after I hit the man. Trying to think what I was going to do. How I was alone.
Mm-hmm.
Story of my life. Seems like I was always alone. Sure was last night. I don't know. I guess I never do anything right, do I? Guess I just don't have the nerve.
You did this time. You came here, didn't you? We put in a call to accident records and verified Emil Salter's story. The body of a man identified as Lloyd Holtman, transient, had been found by officers of the Highway Patrol. Holtman had apparently been struck by a vehicle traveling at high speed as he walked along the road. We checked with Lieutenant Lee Jones at the crime lab, and we found that his division had made an investigation. Frank and I left the office and went over to see him. He showed us pictures taken at the scene. On the victim's coat, the lab crew had been able to find traces of blue paint. Jones was not able to tell us what type of vehicle had hit the victim, but he did say that from the high rate of speed at the time of impact, there would be extensive damage to the front end of the vehicle. Emil Salter was booked on charges of violation of Section 480 B.C., a felony. Frank and I checked him out of the main jail and drove out to where he'd left the truck. He told us to drive up Highway 101. When we got past the Malibu colony, he directed us to turn off onto a dirt road. We drove about 200 yards, and then he asked us to stop.
You sure this is where you left the truck?
Yeah, just over there, behind those trees. When the engine started acting up, I looked for a place to park. Figured it'd be better if I got off the road. There it is. You can see it now.
Uh-huh. This is the same one you stole last night, is it?
Yes, sir. It's the one I was driving.
I'll check the front end.
Yeah. Did you have anything to drink last night?
No, I had enough of that at home.
Mm-hmm. You're sure this is the truck you had when you hit that fellow?
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know what all the questions are about. I said I did it. I'm not trying to hide anything.
There's nothing up there, Joe. Front end's clean.
Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No.
I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, what you tell us doesn't add up with the evidence here.
What do you mean?
Well, the report we got says that the man was killed by a blue vehicle.
Uh-huh.
Now take a look at that truck, will you?
Yeah?
Black. We put in a call to the office, and we asked them to send the tow truck out and impound the vehicle. We stood by until they arrived. Frank and I drove Emil Salter to the scene of the accident. He pointed it out for us. According to the information we'd gotten, the location he gave us was the place where Lloyd Holtman had been found. We checked the area, but we failed to come up with anything new. 5:20 p.m., we returned the suspect to the main jail, and we went back to the office. We sent a radiogram to the authorities in Waukesha asking for all available information on Salter. At 6:47 p.m., we checked out of the office. The next morning, December 11th, Frank and I met in the squad room.
Hi, Joe.
Morning.
See the morning papers?
Yeah, guess there isn't much news, huh?
Sure gave Salter a lot of space.
Yeah, wish we could find the answers.
I called Lee when I got in. They went over the truck, found a lot of the kids' prints, but they didn't turn anything that would point to an accident.
The way the body looked, there should be something on the car that ran him down, shouldn't there?
Excuse me?
Yes, sir.
Wonder if y'all can help me out?
Well, we'll try, sir. Come on in. What is it you want?
Well, that there kid in the paper?
Sir?
You know, a young kid that ran down the old bum, Emil something?
Salter.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, what do you know about it?
Well, just take it easy now. A couple of things I gotta be sure of before I tell you anything.
All right, what's that?
Well, I ain't gonna get mixed up in nothing.
We can't promise you that till we heard what you got to tell.
I'm wasting my time. Bye.
All right, just a minute.
Huh?
Maybe I better straighten you out, mister.
On what?
Well, this kid's sitting in jail right now. He's got a pretty serious charge against him.
I didn't make it.
Yes, sir, that might be true, but I better tell you this. If you know anything about a felony that's been committed, and you withhold that information, you're liable for prosecution as an accessory. Do you know that?
That's the law?
Those are the words. Now, the only thing we're interested in is getting the case off the books. We're not going to give your name to the papers.
That's a promise?
That's a promise.
Okay. I told you it'd be pretty bad for me if any of what I tell you gets back to my family.
All right. Now, what's your name?
Lawrence States.
That's Loren?
Yeah.
You want to sit down?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Now, what do you know about this?
That Emil kid, he ain't guilty.
How's that?
He didn't do it.
How do you know?
Well, I seen the accident. Seen the whole thing.
You want to start at the beginning?
Now, you're sure none of this is going to get out?
We told you, not from us.
Okay. Well, I took a drive Saturday night up the coast. I had dinner.
Uh-huh.
Now, on the way back, I stopped and parked a while. You know, kind of looked out at the ocean.
Yeah.
Well, I was just leaving, and I saw this old guy walk along the road, bent stiff, you know. Had a blanket roll on his back, just walking along. You know how to do.
Yes, sir.
All of a sudden, This car come roaring down the road. Thing must have been doing at least 90. Come roaring around a turn right at this old guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sir, the old guy saw the car coming right at him, kind of turned and started to run. Wasn't any place for him to go. It's where the road's cut right out of the mountain, you know.
Yeah, we were there, we know.
Well, I guess he figured the driver swing around him or something, so he run over the side of the pavement, trying to get out the way.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do no good. That car plowed right into him. Must have knocked him 150 feet.
122.
Well, it seemed like further than that.
Mm-hmm.
Did the driver make any attempt to stop after he hit the old man?
Yeah, pulled over the side of the road. Didn't get out of the car, though.
Uh-huh.
Just stayed there a minute, then he drove off.
Yes, sir.
Well, so I was going to go over and see what I could do for the old fella. I really was. And then this truck drove up. Guy stopped and got out. Walked over to the fella. I figured he'd be able to take care of it, so I left.
Did you see the driver of the truck?
Yes, sir. So I'm good when he walked in front of the headlights. The same fella in the paper, that emo, what's his name?
Salter.
Yeah, Salter.
You're pretty sure it's the same man?
Yes, sir. Now, like I told you, I got a good look at him.
Mm-hmm. How about the other man? What can you tell us about him?
Not much, except he was driving too fast.
Well, how about the car? You know what kind it was?
I didn't get a good look at that.
How about the color? You notice that?
Yeah, it was a blue, kind of light color.
Can you give us any description of the driver?
No, sir.
Could you tell us if it was a man or a woman?
Oh, it was a man. I noticed that when he slowed down. He kind of leaned out the window and looked back down the road. It was a man, all right.
Okay. Could you see the color of his hair? Anything at all about him?
No, sir. There wasn't any lights up there. You know, it was dark.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see very good. The main reason I know the driver was a man was the lights in the truck kind of picked him up, and that's when he left.
Uh-huh. Well, all right, Mr. States. We appreciate what you've told us.
Glad to help as long as nobody's going to know. Be pretty embarrassing.
Well, how's that?
Well, so you see, me and the wife, we ain't been getting along too good. Nothing worth talking about. But a fella don't like to be nagged at, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's just a little secretary in our office, and she and I talk once in a while. A couple of times we gone out for morning coffee together.
Mm-hmm.
This last beef with my wife, I figured I'd fix it good. So I asked the secretary for a date. She gave it to me. We got together Saturday night. Had dinner at a place up near Malibu.
Mm-hmm.
On the way back, we just parked and talked. Nothing wrong, mind you. But I don't guess my wife would understand if she found out.
I see.
So you see why I don't want nobody to know about Saturday? It'd be kind of tough to explain.
Yes, sir.
Got to thinking about it, though, and what that kid, Emo...
Salter.
Yeah. Got to thinking what he must be going through and decided maybe I better tell about it.
Well, sir, it's going to help him a lot.
Yep, I guess so. Oh, something else you might be able to use.
What's that?
Might not be worth anything out of state and all.
What's that?
The hit-and-run car?
Yeah.
I got the license number.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
We got the license number of the hit-and-run car. Also the fact that it carried an Illinois plate. We put out a local and an APB on it. We got in touch with the Department of Motor Vehicles back east, and we obtained the owner's name. According to their records, he had notified them that he was moving to California. They were able to supply us with a North Hollywood address for him. We checked the name through our records section, but we found nothing. At 5:20 p.m., Frank and I drove out to see him. Yes, Charles Bookman?
That's right.
Police officers, we'd like to talk to you.
Come on in.
Thank you. My partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Hello.
Hi there, sir.
I was just having dinner. You mind if I tell my wife to go ahead?
Well, we can wait if you like.
No, I'll be right back.
All right. You want to wait just a minute? Mind if we go with you?
I'm just going into the dining room.
Yes, sir, but we'll still have to be with you.
What's this about?
You own a 1954 Pontiac.
Yeah?
Light blue.
That's right. Something happened to the car?
We want you to tell us, if you will.
Well, I don't know what this is all about. Seems you ought to be able to tell me.
Where is the car?
Well, I don't know.
You own a car and you don't know where it is?
That's right.
Has it been stolen?
Well, I don't know. For all I know, it could have been. I haven't seen it for a couple of days.
Well, who has it, do you know?
My brother-in-law. I let him drive it.
You don't know where he is?
No, if he smashed up the car, he's going to pay for it, though. I'm not going to be responsible.
I'm afraid he's done more than that.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a real bum. My wife's kid brother can't hold a job for more than 5 minutes. All the time sponging off me.
When'd you let him take the car?
Let's see. It was Saturday morning. I told him I wouldn't be using it for a couple of days, so he could have it.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's my car you're asking about. I got a right to know. If something's wrong, I ought to notify the insurance company.
Yes, sir, we understand. But it'd be better if we talked to your brother-in-law about it first. You want to give us his full name?
Casey Stedman.
Steadman, is that right?
That's right.
How about a description?
No problem. I think I got a picture around if you want that.
Yes, sir. It'd help.
I'll get it for you.
What were you doing over the weekend?
I was home. I'm branch manager for the company I work for. I got an annual report I have to get out. I worked on that.
Every night?
Yep. Started it Friday night, finished it up Monday afternoon. That's one reason I let Casey take the car.
What?
To get him out of the house so I could get some work done.
Oh.
But all he does is sit around and look at the TV. Starts right with the programs for kids and goes straight through the day. I think there's something wrong with his ears, too. Always got set turned up real loud. And anybody can think when he's watching a show.
Yes, sir.
I had to get him out of the house. Wife won't even let me say anything to him. She knows how important that work is, too. Sometimes I wonder if it's worth it.
Well, I wouldn't know about that, sir.
Just once. Just once. I'd like to be able to prove to my wife what a bum he is. Just once, so she really believes it.
Well, if he was driving your car Saturday night, we'll let you know.
What'll that prove?
She'll believe it then. We got a complete description of Casey Stedman along with a picture of the suspect. We went back to the office and got out a supplemental broadcast and an APB on him. A check at R&I failed to turn up any information. We talked with his friends and his known associates. None of them could tell us where he was. None of them had seen him since the accident. Wednesday, December 12th, we got a call from one of the larger garages in the city. Yes, sir, that's right. Mm-hmm. Wendy called you. I see. All right, we'll be right over. No, if he does, will you try to stall him till we get there? Right. Thank you. Bye. Garage over on 6th.
Yeah.
Guy hauled a car in this morning, the front end all smashed up. Started to work on it, and he thought he'd better call us.
Blue Pontiac?
That's right, stains on the fender.
Yeah.
Mechanic thinks they're blood. Frank and I left the office, and we drove over to the garage. We talked to the owner. He told us that he'd gotten a call to bring a tow truck to the corner of Main and Crocker Streets. When he got there, he met a man who asked him to tow a car to the garage and to do some repair work on the right front fender. We showed him Stedman's picture. He gave us a positive identification. We checked the car over. It was a 1954 blue Pontiac sedan. The license number was the same one that we'd gotten previously. The garage owner went on to tell us that the suspect wanted the car on Thursday night and that it was important that the repairs be made by that time. We asked that we be notified in the event the suspect made an appearance before then. We called the crime lab and we asked them to come down and go over the car. Frank and I went back to the office and we met with Captain Lorman. We told him what we'd found. He told us to be at the garage the first thing Thursday morning in the event Stedman made an early appearance. Frank and I got there at 7:30 a.m. At 4:30 in the afternoon, the suspect still hadn't shown. 4:45, 4:50 p.m.
Maybe he figures something's wrong.
Doesn't seem likely. No way for him to find out.
Think his sister tipped him?
No. Bookman said he wouldn't say anything to her about it.
Oh.
Met him, Frank.
Yeah. We got a live one.
Let's take it. Stedman?
Yeah?
I'd like to talk to you.
Why? Do I know you?
Police officers. You on that blue Pontiac over there?
Grab him, Joe.
All right, mister. Take it easy.
Go! I know nothing about it. Nothing. I never saw the car before.
Fellow that towed it in says you're the one who called him.
Well, he made a mistake. Must be a lot of men who look like me. Nothing special about me.
Our crime lab's gone over the car. As soon as we roll your fingerprints, we'll be able to tell for sure.
What's that going to prove? Maybe I did drive the car. Nothing wrong with that. No law that says a man can't drive a car.
We got one that says you can't use it to kill somebody.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you don't believe me, do you?
Nope.
That's kind of lousy, isn't it?
How do you mean that?
You walk in here, you already made up your mind I'm guilty. You call that fair?
We just got to go with the evidence, mister.
Well, you got nothing to prove I was in that car. Nothing to show that I killed anybody. Just trying to make me say I did something I don't know nothing about.
All right, come on, let's go.
You just wait. You take me to court, I'll tell the whole world about this lousy deal.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the world.
Yeah?
But we'll be there to listen. We took the suspect back down to the city hall. As soon as we had his fingerprints taken and compared with the ones found in the car, we showed him the physical evidence that we had. When it was presented, he confessed to killing Lloyd Holtman. He made a statement, and we took him over to the main jail where he was booked in on a charge of violation of Section 480BC, a felony. Before we left the jail, we had Emil Salter brought from his cell to one of the interview rooms. He looked like he hadn't slept for several days. Sit down, Emil.
Thanks.
How do you feel?
Not too good, Mr. Friday.
Well, we got some news for you.
Yeah?
You didn't kill that man.
You're not lying to me.
No, we've got the guy that did it.
Oh, that's good. Since that night, all I've thought about was that man lying there. I'm glad it wasn't me.
Yeah?
You know, you still have to answer for auto theft.
Sure, I know. Funny. The reason I left home was to build something new. Here I am in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Just me, I guess. I blame my parents, my brothers, everybody. All the time it's me. There's nobody else to blame, really.
Well, you can try it again, Emil.
Yeah. But it'll probably be the same. Always on the outside looking in.
What do you mean by that?
Well, like back in high school. Maybe you'll think it's funny, but... Like one time I wanted to go to the junior prom. Real bad. Didn't have the right clothes. Didn't have a date. Who'd want to go out with a shrimp like me?
Did you ask anybody to go with you?
No, I knew better. But I went to the prom anyway. All by myself. No date, no nice clothes. Just old cords and a beat-up jacket. Want to know how I went?
Uh-huh.
I sat on the fire escape. Yeah, I watched the whole thing through the gym window, sitting on a fire escape. They had lanterns and stuff. Kids all dressed up real pretty. It was nice to watch. Saw the Grand March. Everything. Only one trouble.
Yeah?
Like I said, I was all alone. Looking in from the outside.
Well, we got to shove off, Amos.
Thanks for coming over.
It's all right. See you, son.
Sure.
You want to wait here? We'll send an officer in for you.
Yes, sir. Thanks again.
Kind of nice kid, don't you think?
Yeah, guess he is.
Guess a lot of things caught up with him. Kind of gives you a funny feeling talking to him.
How do you mean that?
Well, you know how when he worked all night and you get home early in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
You're too tired to sleep and you hear a train whistle from the other side of town. Listening to that kid, I got the same sort of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a bad kid, not really. You think I'm wrong, Joe?
Well, I guess if you are, it makes two of us.
Yeah?
That whistle you're talking about?
Uh-huh.
I hear it every once in a while myself.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On April 16th, trial was held in Department 97, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. Casey Harrison Stedman was tried and convicted of violation of Section 480 of the Vehicle Code law. Violation of Section 480 BC is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of from 1 to 5 years. Emil Donald Salter pled guilty to 1 count of grand theft auto. In the interests of justice, he was placed on probation for a period of 3 years.
You have just heard Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action, and starring Jack Webb, a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.